whatever it was. So just a tiny little thing, and he would say, "That's it, comedy bow tie." That's
if you have any John memories that you'd like to share with us, please do have your say this morning. Get in touch, and we will reflect those throughout the programme. But a big shock and very sad news for all of us. But we're delighted that we had him in this very studio just a month ago. We're glad that we were able to say goodbye to him formally, but professionally as well. And John on the telly, this is what it was all about. This was him from that interview.
We've got a new partner.
Good morning, how are you?
Good morning, it's 6 o'clock on Tuesday, the 2nd of May. This is the News Hour on GMTV with John Stapleton and Penny Smith. Mr. John Stapleton will now take the floor. Would you go and live on Mars, though? Looks a bit
with
dark.
you, Penny? Yeah.
John, he likes... It's not wave music John likes to go to sleep with.
It's the hardcore rock.
Yeah. Excellent. And a pint of wine.
Of course you can. It's pull it as long as you like.
Yeah, it's so firmly stapled at the back. That's why it's called John Stapleton.
Mr. Penny can say that working with John Stapleton was a piece of cake. Penny, I will miss you terribly. I'll miss you stomping into the studio, carrying another ridiculous pair of shoes because the heels are far too high for you to walk in, and plonking yourself down on the sofa next to me with at least 3 seconds to spare.
Hey, look who's popped in early this morning. Have you actually been to bed yet?
My promise for the new year is to go to bed earlier, to be better prepared for GMTV.
To arrive even earlier than you do now.
Yeah.
And you don't look as though you've been sleep deprived at all.
No, I always look this bad. That's true.
You look lovely.
Some things never change, but there we are.
Well, he's staying on.
Hurry up, because I've got to start work very shortly.
We're going right now.
That's it. Bye.
Okay. See you soon.
There you go. That was then. And this is now. We'll be reflecting John throughout the whole programme. OK, so with the time at 7 minutes past 6 o'clock, let's lead with the news this morning, as Keir Starmer has faced a backlash after formally recognising Palestine as an independent state.
Families of Israeli hostages have said this is handing Hamas its greatest prize, while the Prime Minister said this move does not reward the terrorist organisation.
Joined us now in the studio, former Conservative advisor Oscar Redrop. Oscar, were you surprised? I mean, we've got Canada and Australia as well joining in this recognition factor. Were you surprised by this?
I think if the internal politics in the Labour Party were in a more stable position for Keir Starmer, shall we say, I potentially don't think this decision would have been made, which I think says a lot about the decision itself.
Meaning he was buying to pressure from within the party?
Yeah, this is in many ways, from a Labour perspective and a Keir Starmer perspective, this is more about peace within his cabinet and his own party as opposed to peace in the Middle East. And look, I mean, we all know the situation is completely untenable in the Middle East, and, you know, on both sides, things need to happen, things need to move. But I find this really, in some ways, alarming. When you have now front pages today where Hamas, which are one of the most vile terrorist organisations you can imagine, are coming out and celebrating the decision of a British Prime Minister, I think there will be a lot of people out there in this country that will be rightly deeply, deeply troubled by that.
Yeah.
And that's just the reality of where we're at.
Yeah, I mean, you've got headlines in the Mail. I read it this morning, but the Daily Mail has got the headline: Hamas claims victory after Starmer hands out a prize for terrorism.
But then so also Australia's doing this, Canada's doing this. We're not on our own doing this.
No, we're not on our own doing this. But I think Britain, in many ways, are a huge, huge player here, like on the world stage, as part of that kind of that Western power. And I think us falling into line on this is why we're seeing Hamas come out making the noises that they're making, because I think they saw the UK as a huge part of this for them. And there's potential for kind of a counterintuitive and unintended consequences of this, in terms of, you know, in some way trying to secure peace in that region eventually, and that this may actually kind of push Israel along even further and feel like, right, we have to come out we have to be more aggressive now. So I think even on his own terms, I think this fails Keir Starmer.
Sorry, just explain to me how it works.
Well, because ultimately today Hamas have been emboldened, and, you know, how do you think Israel will respond to that? So I think even on its own terms it doesn't work. And just lastly on it, and I obviously, I mean, to say this is a contentious issue just doesn't even to do it justice. I completely understand both sides and how inflamed and how troubling and heated this discussion is, which is why I was also slightly disturbed that our Prime Minister was almost announcing this on social media. You know, via a video that was posted online. There were no journalists. I know in time that will come, but I feel like this is such a big decision we've made as a country, and for it to just almost flippantly be released online.
You say it's such a big decision to make as a country, but what does it actually change? What changes from here?
Well, I mean, it changes a lot domestically. I mean, I think in the real world, what does it change? Hamas feel emboldened. That's troubling. I feel like families of hostages who are out there have also come out and condemned this decision by Keir Starmer in the UK. But I take your point. Like, in many ways, it is that kind of geopolitical posturing that a lot of people get tired with. But it does speak to a Prime Minister who, at this moment in time, is willing to make these huge decisions, rightly or wrongly, depending on your belief system, that is very much based on the internal politics of his party. Like, that's ultimately, we can talk about the Middle East, we can talk about the rights and wrongs of this decision, but it's ultimately about his place within the Labour Party and the pressure he's under. And
isn't it also, though, it's not just about his place in the Labour Party, but it's also about people who vote for the Labour Party. It's actually about the voters as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's got it coming in from all sides. I think it's fair enough that the Trump visit went really, really well for Keir Starmer, and that would have been real kind of reprieve for him under what was becoming increasingly difficult pressure for him after Mandelson and Angela Rayner. But he is still... His party is fragmenting in many ways, and this is one of the issues that absolutely cuts to the heart of that. And, you know, it's potentially a stay of execution for Starmer, and he's kind of, it's appeasement. And some people will say it's appeasement of Hamas. And but in terms of the politics here in this country, people will say it's the appeasement of the left and his party as well.
Can we move on to the front pages of the papers that don't have that on the front page, because that's also on the front page of The Guardian, the Financial Times, etc. But the Daily Telegraph says, Farage, I'll kick out hundreds of thousands. This is the Reform leader promising drastic action. This is on those with indefinite leave to remain in the UK. And there's a lot of people that refers to. Yeah,
absolutely. And look, this is talking, he's completely outflanking. And Farage has been so good at this for so long now. He's completely outflanking a Labour government that after a year and a bit have completely failed on this issue, a Tory government who, you know, in many ways completely have failed on this issue. You know, yeah, obviously with my background pains me to say it, but that's just a reality. So, you know, these plans from Farage today are real. They're quite new ground in a way. I mean, I think there will be. This
is the first time that those with indefinite leave to remain have actually been mentioned, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. We talk about the channel crossings and that element of illegal immigration to this country. But, you know, making people reapply every 5 years, you know, they will have to be earning a certain salary. That is pretty. That is quite a new ground in a way. I know the Labour Party is saying they're monitoring that and they wanted to increase the length of time for indefinite leave to remain. But I think you get on shaky ground with this, and a lot of people will probably think, oh, that's kind of that's not tough enough, that kind of perspective. But I think when people are here legally, I think that's problematic ground if you're talking about removing people who are here legally.
And if they are contributing to society and the economy and, you know, they're earning a living, and it's going to be hard to criticise that in any way.
Absolutely, and I think, you know, and look, you have to give it to Reform. They are absolutely willing to, it seems, particularly on issues like this, like make bold statements and moves and policy, and actual real policy, which Reform were criticised for, I think unfairly, but now they're really putting meat on the bone. But if you're a business and you're employing people, you know, I think it's around £35,000 the salary that Reform are talking about.
It is, it's something like that.
If you're a business and you're hiring people who are not on that salary right now, who are still fulfilling crucial roles within your business, I mean, like, this is a challenging policy that Reform are taking to businesses at the moment.
Yeah.
So I think there are problems with it, and a lot of people will say, "Oh, you don't get it. Like, we need that kind of tough action." I think we need immediate tough action on things like the crossings and illegal immigration to this country.
Okay.
I think this is bold stuff from Farage. You give him that.
Well, Oscar, thanks for raising those points and commenting on them. We'll be coming back to you just after 7 o'clock for more opinion. And if you have anything to say to challenge Oscar on or to agree with him on, have your say, please do get in touch. There's how you do it, www.gbnews.com/yoursay.
Let's get your weather update now with Catherine Chalk.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning, welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Well, it's a chilly start out there this morning, but plenty of sunny spells as high pressure becomes more dominant as we go through the week. So any mist and fog patches soon lifting and clearing. Otherwise, plenty of blue sky out there throughout much of Monday. Cloudier across parts of Scotland and holding on to some showers still across Orkney and Shetland with that brisk northwesterly wind. Some cloud generally filtering in across East Anglia, but otherwise in the sunshine, highs of up to 16 or 17 degrees. So feeling pleasant, but temperatures widely still a little bit below average for the time of year. So through Monday evening then, there's going to be variable amounts of cloud across Scotland. There may be some early evening sunny.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
With that, we'll take a break. Still to come, Charlie Kirk's widow pays tribute to him in front of thousands of mourners at a memorial service in Arizona that was last night. We had Ben Leo, who was there, and he will bring you the very latest on that next.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Miriam, you can't be serious. Scrapping the triple lock on state pensions? Madness.
Andrew, we just can't carry on pretending. The numbers just don't add up. We've got to be honest with people. We've got to face the facts. That's what people want.
Well, that's what you get on GB News and on Britain's Newsroom. Lively debates, lively conversation.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first, and we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m, only on GB News.
Thousands of mourners dressed in red, white and blue to remember Charlie Kirk, who was assassinated on the 10th of September.
Well, the President, Donald Trump, was there, the Vice President, J.D. Vance, and other top Republicans, all paying tribute to him, including Charlie Kirk's widow, Erika Kirk.
Yeah, let's hear from those who paid their respects last night.
Hello, Ben Leo here in the aftermath of the Charlie Kirk Memorial in Phoenix, Arizona. President Donald Trump has just come off stage after paying a glowing tribute to his dear friend Charlie Kirk, the political activist who was assassinated some weeks ago. These are the best bits of an extraordinary day which has moved America.
The evil murderer who took Charlie from us expected us to have a funeral today, and instead, my friends, we have had a revival in celebration of Charlie Kirk and of his Lord Jesus Christ. Charlie exemplified kindness, courage, and a commitment to open debate. But Charlie loved debate not because he excelled at it, but because it was the vehicle for bringing the light of truth to dark places. For Charlie, we will remember that it is better to stand on our feet defending the United States of America and defending the truth than it is to die on our knees.
Erika wanted me to share with you what happened after that shot rang out on September 10th. When that shot rang out, I took a step toward him, but his security team was on him immediately. Charlie, being like a son to me, I ran toward the security team and we ran to the SUV together. And I want you to know that we did everything we could to save Charlie, but Charlie was already gone.
Please give a warm welcome to Mrs. Erika Kirk.
After Charlie's assassination, we didn't see violence. We didn't see rioting. My husband, Charlie, he wanted to save young men, just like the one who took his life. That man, that young man, I forgive him.
Charles James Kirk was heinously murdered by a radicalized, cold-blooded monster for speaking the truth that was in his heart. He was violently killed because he spoke for freedom and justice, for God and country, for reason and for common sense.
And as well, what was it about Charlie that you loved and you liked?
I mean, to me, I just kind of loved how much he was outspeaking about his faith.
I also felt empowered. I felt like today, so many people coming together, uniting for one cause to, move America forward.
Just feel so blessed to be able to be here and be a part of this and honor everything that Charlie has done.
Like, man, Charlie Kirk is really gone, and what are we gonna do from now on? And I mean, to me, we just gotta live out what he meant for us and carry out his mission.
100,000 people there. And from tonight, we will be bringing you more coverage of events from America and news from the White House when we have a brand new show.
It is a brand new show. Yes, it's The Late Show Live. It launches in Washington, D.C., and here's what you can expect.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show Live starts tonight at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
I look forward to that. Excellent.
Yeah, indeed. Time now for our daily reflection.
The GB News Daily Reflection.
Hi, I'm Jordan, and I'm a vicar in the Church of England. Imagine being rejected by your community. Imagine having something that has happened to you that you can't change put you outside of the people you love. This was the case for those who had leprosy, both in the time of Jesus and beforehand. It was a disease which left the person separate from the very people they wanted to be with. In Leviticus, a book in the Bible, the people with leprosy are commanded not to touch anyone without it, to make sure they don't pass it on to others. I wonder who might be the people that we consider to be like lepers. How might I respond to them in love? Jesus shows us how he responds. There's a beautiful story of Jesus healing a leper that comes to him in Matthew 8. The one big social taboo is not to touch a leper. Jesus touches them and says, "Be clean," and instantly they are healed. Perhaps today we might consider the awful situations of those who are outcasts and how we can respond to them in love to safely include them in the right way in our lives, family, and society.
Now, if you are travelling to work or school, here's your traffic and travel update. And don't forget to stay with us on digital and radio.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. A significant incident on the M62 eastbound near Wakefield, where an overturned vehicle causes delays at junction 32. Motorists are advised to be cautious. Additionally, southbound travel on the A1 from Old Crayhall to River Esk is closed due to overnight roadworks. Please use the signed diversion route and plan for additional travel time. Normal traffic conditions on the M62 are anticipated shortly after 7 this morning, and on the trains, expect delays as buses are replacing trains between Corkickle and Whitehaven. Meanwhile, northern services are reduced between Liverpool Lime Street and Edge Hill. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Yeah, we're going to do the sport in just a second, but I wanted to just bring a bit more about John Stapleton, the reason why he was just such a legend, because not only, I mean, we all know that he was a superb journalist, but also he was always up for a laugh. And a mate of ours, Richard Mack, used to do these daft VTs, we call them videotape packages, and John Stapleton was always up for it. So here, for example, is an example.
Now, we always get a lot of calls and emails from people wanting to know what actually goes on behind the scenes here at GMTV. If you've got any questions, any secrets you want revealed, do email this address, uncut@gm.tv. This is one we got this week. This is a very common one, actually. This is from Caroline Wright of Northampton. She wants to know what's in the cupboard here to the right of the sofa. And I can show you. This is, in fact, where we keep John Stapleton. There he is. He's just powering up. And... well, when fully charged, you get a good 3 or 4 hours out of him.
Very good, very good.
That's where we kept John Stapleton charged up.
I was the one beside him. Yeah. Goodness me.
He was always, as I said, he was always up for a laugh.
Up for a laugh.
Yeah,
Up for a laugh.
exactly.
Arsenal, they were laughing. They scored a dramatic last-minute equaliser against Man City. 1-1 draw at the Emirates. Paul Coit with the details on that one.
After this.
Welcome back to Britain's Newsroom with Andrew and Bev. Hello everyone, Patrick Christie is here. I'm Michelle Duke, Britain's News Channel.
Access the stories that matter to you. Take the GB News family with you on any device. And as long as you have an internet connection, tune in to GB News anywhere on the planet or beyond. GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's News Channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's News Channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints. How many fingers have I got up?
About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's News Channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
It's Patrick Christie's Tonight, and here we do things differently.
It's explaining the absolute madness of this, doesn't it?
It's explosive. I mean, this is very good. It's lively.
850. Your government sat there, Sean, and it did nothing.
It's controversial.
And the Middle East has been in turmoil since before I was born.
It's everything you need to kickstart your evening.
Everyone's had their Weetabix tonight. I love to see it.
That's Patrick Christie's Tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's News Channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
No,
because the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Dubes and Kerr weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's News Channel.
In sport, which is coming up, we have Penny Smith here. We also have a story about a penny farthing. OK,
yes.
Stay in honour of you.
Not just one.
Not just one. OK. Now, the Great British Giveaway. You'll want to be part of this one. Still plenty of time to get involved. And what a prize. Have a go.
You're not going to want to miss our greatest Great British giveaway so far. You could bank an incredible £30,000 in tax-free cash to spend however you like. And if that wasn't enough, you'll also get to drive away in this brand new motorhome. With thanks to Marquis Leisure, this brand new 2025 Benimar Primero could be yours. It comes with all the mod cons you'd expect from a vehicle worth over £74,000 and comfortably sleeps 4 people. This prize package is worth over £104,000. And remember, if you can dream it, you can drive it away. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrants must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. The winner will be contacted live on GB News, week commencing 10th November. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Well, Arsenal must have felt as if they won a competition yesterday. They were at home, but they salvaged a point when they shouldn't have, really.
Gabriel Martinelli, right at the very end. Who do you think's going to be happier, though? Manchester City or Arsenal? I think probably neither. I think, yeah, but the thing is before...
I mean, you go 96 minutes or so and you're not looking at any points, and then you get one. I think you're happy.
You're going to be happy with that. But also, Arsenal need to be winning games. So it's the same as Manchester City as well. So Mikel Arteta, obviously... Captain Black, you're familiar with Captain Black from Captain Scarlet.
You lost me right at the start anyway.
Well, when I said hello.
Yes, that was that.
We'll have a look at Captain Black. This is what Captain Black had to say after the game, who he thought was probably the best. We'll have a look at this. Here we go.
Well, I'm extremely proud of the players and the team. That's the overall feeling, and very disappointed with the results.
That's it. That's it. That's all he had to say about the whole thing.
Okay.
He's very proud of them, but he was disappointed with the result. He has starters and finishers now. So his finishers did well, but he started.
Well, when are Villa going to start? Because they haven't got in the gear, have they?
Goodness me, what is going on there? So Sunderland won, Aston Villa won. So Sunderland get a player sent off. They're playing against 10 men. You think Aston Villa would do something. Yeah. But no, it's like... But the thing is, sometimes it's harder to play against 10 men who's sitting back than it is when you played 11 men going forward. So Aston Villa struggled. So it was 1-1. But at least
that doesn't make sense. Sure,
Why is
because
that?
Because otherwise everybody would say, OK, let's just get one player sent off, because it's, then we'll make sure we don't...
Well, kind of. But the thing is, when you've got 11, and I never want to get technical in these bits, but so you've got 11, and Eamonn hopefully will agree, is that then you're going to be going forward and thinking, right, I'm going to try and get a goal.
Everybody knows their position.
But sometimes, if a player's, if they'll think, right, we'll consolidate on what we've got, and it's just like building a brick wall, and we'll just sit there, but we won't go forward.
Oh, is this like what this thing is on the Telegraph? Pep admits parking the bus was a mistake. It's the same thing.
Correct. Exactly, and that's what Manchester City did in the game before. See?
Brick wall, parking the bus.
There we go. And all those sorts of things.
OK.
Bournemouth 0, Newcastle 0. They missed Alexander Isak, so I think a fair result, but not the most exciting game. Now, the World Athletics Championships. Have you watched any of this?
Well, it's over. It's too late now.
It is too late. It's not been good. It's the worst World Athletics Championship that Great Britain has had in 22 years. Well, that should suit us. It's raining in Tokyo. Surely that would suit the British team more, so we should do better. But the worst championship, 64-strong team, only 5 medals. It's not like Chris Akabusi's day when he won back in 1991. And the relay, and the 400-metre relay. Even the relays, they've spent so much time and money on relays. They were a disaster. But yesterday, Keely Hodgkinson went and Georgia Hunter-Bell in the 800 metres, so we were expecting or hoping for a gold and silver. So let's have a look and see what happened. So the weather hasn't been right, but it wasn't too bad yesterday. So 2 laps of the track, 800 metres. So Keely, who's been injured for most of the season, but she looked better.
But this was close. This was close.
It really was close. So Keely's up in front, and Georgia Hunter-Bell, who hopefully we will have on the show later on in the week.
Oh, look at that.
Then, oh dear, Kenya's Lillian Adira goes running past them. So a silver and a bronze. Should it be celebrated? It's a couple of medals, but I thought we should have done better. I would have thought that one of them would.
That was just the way that Kenyan runner just coasted past.
Out of nowhere, completely out of nowhere.
Absolutely.
But then we go from those World Championships to the Penny Farthing Championships.
The British Penny Smith Championships.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Was won by a Brit, Roger Davis. Have a look at this. This is the... I never quite understood the point of penny farthings. Why the big wheel? How do you get on those things? How do you get off them? Look at that. So, did you take your steps with you? Or do you have to park alongside something very high?
Or just do that thing where you just lean over and just...
collapse.
Yes, exactly.
That's why they're all grazed down one leg. If you look, all on their left leg is all completely grazed. So they're all, they're dressed like professional cyclists. And this is in Hillingdon, by the way. And that's it. There you go. Need I say any more? Well done, Roger Davis beating Frank Albert, the German world champion of the penny
It's what makes Britain Great Britain.
You reckon you could feel every bump there, don't you?
I think so, yeah. I don't imagine it's
No, doesn't look
very
comfortable.
bumpy and uncomfortable.
Very good, Paul. See you again at 7:20. Thank you very much indeed. We will take a break. Nigel Farage pledging to kick out illegal migrants. More on that and the other stories coming into the newsroom on this Monday morning with Dawn Neeson and Mr. Chris Akabusi.
They're getting a bit cosy.
Back with that right after this. Don't go away.
Ready to soak up that holiday sunshine?
Won't we need some cover?
No worries. All sorted.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Hello. Well, it's a mixed picture out there across Europe. Rain and thunderstorms for some, but even still, we've got some warm sunshine out there. So showery outbreaks of rain affecting Madeira, but across much of Portugal and Spain, fine, dry and settled. But there is this area of low pressure, and that's going to bring showers, perhaps even thunderstorms, especially across the Alps. Best of the sunshine across Greece, feeling warm here. And that's a similar picture as we go through the week. Sunny spells and highs of up to 27 degrees.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Patrick Christie's Tonight, weekdays from 9 p.m.
What on earth is going on at our university? So Professor Stephen Greer had worked for the University of Bristol for 36 years when his career was halted after a false accusation of Islamophobia. The issue arose when Greer taught about the Charlie Hebdo attacks during a human rights module, and a student who didn't actually attend the course complained. Well, I'm delighted now to be joined by Stephen Greer himself to explain what happened. Stephen, thank you very much. Tremendous to have you on the show. Can you just explain the circumstances that led up to you being accused of Islamophobia, please?
Well, out of the blue, or almost out of the blue, I received a complaint about a module I'd been teaching on a unit, a human rights unit, entitled Islam, China and the Far East, for nearly 15 years without incident. Which included the increasing critical literature about human rights issues in Islam, China, and the Far East. And my principally, as I said, the principal complaint, it did include a complaint about Charlie Hebdo, but the principal complaint was about the fact that I had referred students to the authoritative academic literature. And the student who complained was the president of BRISOC, the University of Bristol Islamic Society, who was a medical student who'd not attended any of the course himself, and he claimed to be acting on behalf of anonymous students. And there were all kinds of other procedural irregularities in the complaint, but the university decided to entertain it anyway. Okay. And I was exonerated after a 5-month inquiry. Then the university said, well, they were publicly announced. They took the module off the syllabus.
GB News, the People's Channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world, but look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m, only on GB News.
Front pages of the papers, this is how they're shaping up in this Monday morning, beginning with The Times.
Yes, that leads with families of Israeli hostages accusing the Prime Minister of handing Hamas its greatest prize.
Here's the Daily Mail reporting that the PM's decision to recognise Palestine as a state was necessary to keep alive the possibility of a two-state solution.
The Telegraph leads with Reform UK leader Nigel Farage pledging he will kick out hundreds of thousands of legal migrants in unprecedented reversal of Britain's relaxed border rules.
We're going to be talking about that shortly, and here's The Sun reporting that an elite soldier was accidentally shot 7 times by a colleague after they used live ammunition instead of blanks in a training exercise, which sounds like a dangerous practice. Anyway, joining us to go through all of this, we say hello, good morning, welcome to Dawn Leeson and Chris Sakabusi. Very nice to see you here.
Good to see you guys.
Dawn, let's begin with the Nigel Farage situation. So, Reform UK are coming out and saying, elect us and we will do what with migrants?
Farage, I'll kick out hundreds of thousands of migrants. This is a promise he's going to make today, evidently. Ejecting hundreds of thousands of legal migrants, and the illegal ones you assume as well. He's unveiling plans to force all migrants with permanent residency to reapply, pretty much like they're doing in America, to be honest with you, very much like the Trump playbook, and to apply for visas under stricter criteria, including a higher salary requirement and better standard of English. The party are also planning to change the law to prevent foreign nationals from accessing a British welfare system, saving an estimated $234 billion over the lifetime of those. This sounds amazing. He is saying exactly what people want to hear, which is what Nigel Farage is the best at. No one beats him on that. However, the devil is in the details, isn't it? It's how are you going to do it? You are up against lawyers. You are up against, most importantly, if you're in government, you're up against the civil service, who are going to outnumber pretty much all of us by the time we get around to this stage. And it's just going to be impossible. It's like everything else that the governments of various colours have tried to do. It's going to get bogged down in legal argument and being dragged through the courts.
You see, you've even got things, for example, skilled workers. Well, what is a skilled? The definition of a skilled worker. You've got various other things here. You've got to be fluent in English and have good character. Well, who decides
what's a good character? Penny, if politicians deciding who's of good character, we are in trouble.
Yes, exactly. And a clean criminal record. Well, again, what constitutes a criminal record? Does speeding
half the politicians be out of the question?
But I think what you've got though is Nigel either tapping into the zeitgeist or inflaming the zeitgeist. The fact is that this is now on the agenda, and I've met people who definitely not racist, just run-of-the-mill people at the golf club, for example, or suppliers who doesn't work for me. And they were on that march, and they're now talking about this sort of stuff. So this is something that's not going to go away, regardless of what the lawyers are saying or doing. Eventually something is going to happen when it comes to migration. I don't know about this legal migration, but illegal migration and all the boats, it's on the agenda and it's going nowhere now.
But what it's saying is, once you get here in a boat or whatever, that isn't the end of the story. You're going to be being monitored for the next 5 years or so, and we see how you're shaping up after that. So let us know your views on that, have your say, and we'll comment on those things. Chris, the World Championships going on in Tokyo, just finished in Tokyo. What did you think of Great Britain's performance there?
It was a very dark...
Disappointing.
Very disappointing. Got to go back to the drawing board. What you do recognise is that no names are patrols, but certain athletes have come to the end of a very stellar career and are going away. So we are in transition.
You've been there, you've done it, you've got the T-shirt, you've got the gold.
Tokyo was my last World Champs, actually. 1991, correct, yeah. And, great times. And we were always still on the up.
On the way up.
We, as a nation, we were on the way up. The 80s and 90s into the noughties was our time. We were doing phenomenally well.
So do you think we've just taken our foot off the gas, as they say?
No, I just think we're just in a little lull where some of our stellar performers are coming to the end, and those
the new ones have.
They're just making finals. They're maybe just knocking on the podium. I hope in 2 years' time you'll see a lot more medals for Team GB.
Have you got your medal on you today? You normally have.
I have. I got my Olympic silver.
Yeah.
It's only...
always. This is what I love about Chris.
Oh, my word. Oh, my word. He gets it out of his pocket. Oh, my God. He's... Hey, there we go.
Beautiful.
You're not like Tom Daly, you should have knitted a little...
It's brilliant, though. I love that.
Oh, okay. Can we talk about other medals then? Because I like the one that you've got, Chris, from GB News Online. This is...
Oh, yeah, Eamonn!
I was wondering who you were talking about then.
That's the wrong colour pen. It should be gold.
Yeah, so tell us about that. That was amazing. A Lifetime Achievement Award.
I went to an event on Saturday night. I had no reason why I was going there. I didn't particularly want to go. I was sort of forced into going, and I went there. And then halfway through the proceedings, they started talking, and I got a nudge in the ribs to say, listen to this, listen to this. And I'm listening, and then the word Belfast comes up, and I think, Belfast.
I know that place.
Yeah, I know that place, yeah. And it ends up being about me, and it was a Lifetime Achievement Award. And anything's nice to win, But it was very touching. It was very, very nice.
It's for charity work, wasn't it, Eamonn?
No, it's his TV career.
No, it was TV.
They mentioned your charity work as well, which I mean.
Well, I'm so good at so many.
But you do a lot of that, and everyone obviously knows you as it. But you know, a TV supremo. But you do a lot of
the thing about charity work is I've become very close to working on behalf of animals, dogs in particular, and how they're treated so badly, and how there's so many people in this country who, who just don't get it. And why would you be bad to an animal? Why would you be bad to a dog?
Don't understand
and the other thing is, I never understood food banks before. I just think, well, how can you not have food? And now I've worked with an organisation in Belfast, and I realise this is serious. This really is serious.
The economy's
a lot of people really need this, and there's a lot of families can't go out and buy a grocery basket full of goods to last a week. And so anyway, it's interesting, as you get older, you get maybe more of a conscience on that front.
Well, congratulations. Well
Thank you.
Wow. Did you actually get a thing that you can put
a goal,
somewhere?
A goal,
a medal that you can whip out of your pocket, Eamonn.
It's glass. The thing is, it's glass.
So could you drill holes in and maybe have it as a kind of really big necklace?
I've now got an image of him whipping something out of his pocket.
It was very nice. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting thing.
Yes.
Generation Z, I think that's people under...
I know, but it's called Gen Z because it kind of came from America.
I'm
with you. No, I say Z for zebra, but Gen Z does sound better. I know.
But they're sort of, under 35 or so?
Oh, I think they're just like... Is that
but anyway, if they buy a home or rent a home or whatever, they want to be near a Greggs. Young buyers say, Chris, that it's more important to be close to a food outlet than being close to schools or transport link.
Yeah.
Well, you can understand. I mean, Gen Z probably just about having children. We now live in a society where more people work from home the young people work from home as opposed to going into somewhere. So rather than where we might think, OK, what's the nearest transport links? What's the better schools in the area? They are much more thinking about...
Can I buy my lunch?
Yeah, there's steak bake or other sorts of outlets.
I just honestly think, I mean, get over yourself, go and get a life. As John would have said.
Yeah, get over yourself. I mean, I suppose it's sort of pubs, cafes, shops and bakeries. The thing is, I do think that when you are buying somewhere, particularly if it's your first time, I do think you want a community nearby, and therefore there is a case.
And a convenience store. You need a convenience store.
Yeah, well, I think it's interesting. I mean, talking about the pub trade, which we know is dying. At pubs, there used to be hubs of the community, and lonely people. When I used to work in a pub, we used to have lonely old people come in and literally sit with half a pint, and it was a community.
Yeah,
and they're dying out, unfortunately.
But I definitely think that that's what you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not a Greggs. Come on.
That's made us hungry for a bit of breakfast this morning. Chris and Dawn, appreciate it. See you back in about 40 minutes' time. Thank you very much indeed. And we say hello, good morning and welcome for your weather update. Catherine Chalk with that. Good morning, Catherine.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning. Welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Well, it's a chilly start out there this morning, but plenty of sunny spells as high pressure becomes more dominant as we go through the week. So only mist and fog patches soon lifting and clearing. Otherwise, plenty of blue sky out there throughout much of Monday. Cloudier across parts of Scotland and holding on to some showers still across Orkney and Shetland with that brisk northwesterly wind. Some cloud generally filtering in across East Anglia, but otherwise in the sunshine, highs of up to 16 or 17 degrees. So feeling pleasant, but temperatures widely still a little bit below average for the time of year. So through Monday evening then, there's going to be variable amounts of cloud across Scotland. There may be some early evening sunny spells, but still holding on to some showery outbreaks across Orkney and Shetland. Similar picture across Northern Ireland, variable amounts of cloud here and across Northern England. Best of any early evening sunshine really confined to Wales and the southwest of England, with the far southeast perhaps seeing a shower or two, especially across parts of Kent. So as we go through Monday night then, a similar picture to previous nights with lengthy clear skies. There'll still be a few showers around across Orkney and Shetland and perhaps even across East Anglia, and more so a focus across the far southeast of England. Otherwise, it's still going to be a chilly night out there, perhaps across Scotland not as cold with just a subtle shift in the wind direction, but mist and fog patches to start Tuesday morning and perhaps with a rural grass frost. So as we go through Tuesday, well, many places seeing another fine day, plenty of blue sky around, a bit more cloud just filtering in through the afternoon, especially across East Anglia, where we may see even a few showers for the far southeast. Otherwise, sunny spells into the afternoon, drier across Orkney and Shetland. Bye-bye.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. First, the A1 is closed southbound between Old Craighall and River Esk due to planned maintenance. Drivers should follow detours and plan for extra time. On the A14 westbound near Kettering South, a collision has left one lane shut. Please be patient as normal traffic conditions are expected to return shortly after 7:30 this morning. And on the trains, Northern buses are replacing trains between Corkicle and Whitehaven, with no trains running at Edge Hill. Thameslink services are interrupted without stopping at City Thameslink. Please allow extra time for your journeys today. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
You could bank an incredible £30,000 in tax-free cash to spend however you like. And if that wasn't enough, you'll also get to drive away in this brand new motorhome. This brand new 2025 Benamar Primero could be yours. It comes with all the mod cons you'd expect from a vehicle worth over £74,000 and comfortably sleeps 4 people. This prize package is worth over £104,000. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, you didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
From the GB newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
We're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
Good morning. Hamas declares a victory after the government officially recognises the state of Palestine.
But the Prime Minister insists this is not a reward for terrorism.
Hamas is a brutal terror organisation. Our call for a genuine two-state solution is the exact opposite of their hateful vision.
Well, this comes as Australia and Canada also recognise the state. Keir Starmer claiming the move is a result of Israel's failure to meet the key conditions of a ceasefire.
But as the Israeli Prime Minister criticises the move as a huge reward for terrorism, we're asking, could it bring peace to the Middle East?
Nigel Farage will pledge to expel hundreds of thousands of migrants in a mass deportation move, which he claims will save £234 billion.
And that young man, I forgive him.
Those are pictures of Charlie Kirk's widow paying tribute to the political activist as President Trump describes him as an American hero.
And this morning we'll be remembering our friend, the legendary broadcaster John Stapleton, who's died aged 79.
And we're going to be joined by the latest addition to the GB News family after 8 o'clock this morning. We've got Patrick and Emily with little baby George.
And in sport this morning, 3 draws in the Premier League yesterday, including a last-minute goal for Arsenal against Manchester City. For the first time in 22 years, no gold medals for Great Britain at the World Athletics Championship. And tonight in Paris, the award for the world's best footballer, the Balon d'Or, is announced.
We've got a quieter week of weather ahead with higher pressure dominating, but some chilly nights on the cards. I'll have all the details coming up shortly.
Hello there, very good morning to you on this Monday morning. Thank you for starting your day and your week with us. I'm Eamonn Holmes.
I'm Penny Smith. This is GB News Breakfast.
So here we are, Penny, and it's a maudlin day, it's a sad day because our friend and colleague, and particularly close to you, John Stapleton, a man you worked with for at least 17 years, passed away, and he passed away unexpectedly.
Yeah, yesterday. And so we wanted to pay tribute to him. He died after well, he was 79, Parkinson's disease, and we spoke to him actually on television. I mean, I spoke to him anyway, but he came into GB News, and we were chatting about a range of topics, but also we were talking about how he deals with Parkinson's.
And this is just a month ago.
Just a month ago, and he was saying about trying to keep positive at all times. But you asked him a question. You looked, because we came off the back of a clip, and I think it was actually, it could have been either me and him, or maybe you were involved in that one as well. And you asked a question. And your question was, do you look back at the man there and think, what happened to him?
You're talking about the physical effects on your body. What about the mental effects? We're running tapes today of all of us on TV, and, when I think of you in the time, the place, and you used to run about that studio, and whatever, bouncing down, talking to people. Do you ever look at that man and you think, what the heck happened?
Yes, I do.
I do, to be honest with you. I also think, you know, what would have happened if my wife was still around, you know.
Yes, of course.
Which is another factor, because I'm on my own now. Get tremendous support from my son, Nick, and his wife, Lisa, and indeed my friends and neighbours. They're all great, but, you know, you'd be a very unusual person if you didn't, from time to time, just sit there and think, God, how life has changed. But I can't do anything about it, so what's the point of moaning about it, you know?
Yeah,
try and make it as light as it possibly can.
And we still manage our lunches.
We still manage our lunches.
Which don't go on perhaps for quite as long as they used to, maybe.
Quite as much wine as we
don't drink quite as much wine. But
and you two have such a lovely friendship, and you worked together for a long time. I mean, 17 years in the telly world is
17 years.
Incredible, isn't it?
Never a dull moment with Penny Smith, I can tell you, as Eamonn will verify, I'm sure. Never a dull moment.
We just watched that clip that you ran a bit earlier, and it was so funny because there you could see me wanging on about something, and you've got that face on you that you used to wear quite a lot, which was like this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm exaggerating.
I've seen it. What the hell's coming next? Yes, exactly. She used to play tricks on me, you know. One of my jobs was at the end of the hour was to do the brief weather forecast, you know, which was on autocue. And after I'd gone down to the studio, she'd go into autocue and change the autocue. So at one morning it came up and it said, if you're waking up this morning, you may experience damp patches.
And you read it, and then you stopped and looked at me, and that made it much worse.
Exactly.
Oh, dear. You know, but we're reflecting, we're looking back, Paul, at his whole life there, and we've all been friends for so long, and a big influence. And I remember watching John as a viewer. You know, I'd have been 12 years or so younger than him, and such a nice man. But if you can't laugh with somebody or about somebody like that, what's your life been about? I think to be able to laugh along with them.
I think the thing for you two also being so close to him, and for me as a viewer, and I love watching pros. I love, you know, for all the years that I've been doing this, I love watching
top pro,
a real professional,
and a really nice man.
And that's great, and it means a lot because, as we know, not everybody is really nice in this business. So someone that's kind, someone that's nice, but also someone that is such a pro. And for me to see someone, when you can't see someone working, it looks effortless. It looks very easy. And that's when people go, oh, that job is so easy. And that's when you know someone's really, really good at it.
Yeah.
And everybody who is paying tribute, the word gentleman keeps on coming up. I mean, Gentleman John, he was.
Gentle being the operative.
Yeah.
He was gentle in a lot of his ways. He was a bit unreasonable with his football supporting and...
Can't have everything, can you?
You can't have everything. You can't have
For those
everything.
people who might not know, John Stapleton was a massive Man City fan. And I remember somebody asked him about the fact that he was, you know, oh, yeah, you're only a Man City fan because they keep winning. And he went, when they started winning, because he used to joke about what's blue and white and slides down the table, because apparently Man City didn't do very well. And he used to get really annoyed with people who thought that he'd only recently come to Man City.
I remember him on Nationwide talking about Man City. I was a kid. I remember him talking about, because being a big football fan, I remember him talking about Manchester City on Nationwide.
Manchester City wasn't
years
very
and
good.
years ago.
And was that when they weren't as good as...
Well, that was when they were good, and then they got bad, and then they got better again. So that was a long time ago. So we're probably talking about 30, 40
He's not like me. He's not a blow-in or anything. He is Manc through and through, you know, so he was legitimate from that point of view. But anyway, John, memories, share them with us. We'll try and share them with you today as we go through the programme. Thank you, Paul. See you again 20 minutes' time.
Yeah. Now, Sir Keir Starmer has faced a backlash after formally recognising Palestine as an independent state.
In the face of the growing horror in the Middle East, we are acting to keep alive the possibility of peace and a two-state solution. That means a safe and secure Israel alongside a viable Palestinian state.
Political consultant Oscar Redrop joins us now in the studio. And Oscar, I wanted to ask you, I mean, you've been in there before, you've been in Number 10 advising people and whatever, and when you look at that Prime Minister addressing that microphone in those formalised situations, he wasn't taking questions or getting answers from or whatever it is, that was a statement like for social media, boom, it was there. I'd just love to know what you thought of what you were seeing.
Well, I think one on the performance of it, there's a real stiffness there, but just on the actual important stuff, that's someone who is making a really, really big decision on behalf of this country, who doesn't want to have to be quite accountable for it.
So what is the decision he's making on behalf of the country? What are the repercussions for this country?
Well, I mean, admittedly, we're saddling alongside Canada and Australia, but, you know, you'll look at... and I would actually say across the political spectrum, you know, across the front pages today, we have a terrorist organisation like Hamas that are backing and celebrating the decision of our Prime Minister. And I think it's really interesting, and we saw the tension, one of the few points of tension, in fairness, between Trump and Starmer on this recognition last week. And I just think it's fascinating that Keir Starmer waited for that visit to finish, posted his video on social media that is basically playing to the gallery of Labour MPs and party management. Let's have it right. And obviously, next time he's in front of a camera, I hope the journalists and the media in this country do the job they do and really, you know, comb over this decision and the reasons that it's being made at this moment in time. But, yeah, really interesting way of making that announcement.
Well, they're saying it was timed to coincide with the annual UN General Assembly in New York because the leaders of other countries, including France and Belgium, are expected to follow suit. But the question is about this impact and everything. So apparently the Foreign Office has updated its website to include references to Palestine instead of the occupied Palestinian territories. Mm-hmm. But there were also comments in some of the papers today about the fact that this could have ramifications further down the line in terms of claims against Britain for the historical situation over there, because the lines were drawn up with Britain helped to draw the lines in the first place. And they're saying, you look at what's happened in Chagos, so could we be facing more claims there?
God, that's fascinating. That's, I mean, in the heat of this conflict, things like that can feel very, very far off. But that's when that's a really brilliant point, because that's when you make statements and you announce policy and you take a position. In a moment in time, and you don't often consider what those longer-term impacts, which could be huge for this country. That's fascinating. And actually, that's something that you would hope, again, in time, journalists and people in politics kind of... The number 10 and Keir Starmer need to have answers for things like that at this moment in time.
And it's very well and good saying Hamas will have no future, have nothing to do with anything in the future. But that's not to say they don't just suddenly call themselves something else. And
I mean, that is like not serious politics. That, I mean, and having been in that building, and the responsibility that comes with being Prime Minister. That you have to be tough, and you have to make decisions that are right and unpopular.
He's not.
This is the complete opposite.
I mean, I just wanted to get that to you. What does it tell us about our Prime Minister, for instance, and also with other conflicts? I mean, he's not going to get tough over Ukraine, is he? He's not going to get tough over Russian incursions into Poland and Hungary and various things like that. So what's he going to be tough on?
I mean, and like, I don't want to come across like a hypocrite where I can criticise us coming out with with the recognition, but then also saying, but actually it doesn't really mean anything, and it doesn't in many ways. And the reason why Starmer's coming at it, it's a real posturing thing to his own party, and that is something that rightly the Tories were criticised for a long old time, which was that they're putting party before the country. Something Keir Starmer says, I will never do. It was like his big kind of distancing point with the Tory government. And this, in many ways, it's so overt. It is so just to somehow try and allay some of the pressure that he's under with his own party. And that's
weak. Could you actually reverse that? Could you reverse that? I mean, say, for example, in 4 years' time, there's a different government. Could you say, right, I mean, assuming this stands and assuming that things actually move on and things have been sorted at some stage, could you then get rescinded? Is it something you can rescind? I mean, that's the other thing,
I would love to know, and
These are questions that we shall find
and that we would never get
along.
Exactly, not with social media video announcement from the Prime Minister.
Really appreciate it. Thank you, Oscar, for your contributions throughout the morning, and we will get some reflection on what Oscar's had to say. Get in touch and have your say.
Yeah. Now, tonight, You do not want to miss the launch of a new programme. This is a new programme.
Yeah, it's called The Late Show Live, exclusive to GB News, and we'll be bringing you coverage of events from America and news from the White House. Here's the sort of thing you can expect.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show Live starts tonight at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Midnight, okay, you have been told, and that's going to make really interesting viewing at a time when TV goes dead. Everything switches off or goes to shopping channels or whatever, and it is all happening here on GB News, your news channel, bringing you news from the other side of the world as it happens with Bev and Ben Leo.
Yeah. How many time zones are there in America again? Is it 5? 7?
Could be.
12?
Yeah.
103?
All those things.
It's time for your weather with Catherine Chalk.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning. Welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Well, it's a chilly start out there this morning, but plenty of sunny spells as high pressure becomes more dominant as we go through the week. So any mist and fog patches soon lifting and clearing. Otherwise, plenty of blue sky out there throughout much of Monday. Cloudier across parts of Scotland and holding on to some showers still across Orkney and Shetland with that brisk northwesterly wind. Some cloud generally filtering in across East Anglia, but otherwise in the sunshine, highs of up to 16 or 17 degrees. So feeling pleasant, but temperatures widely still a little bit below average for the time of year. So through Monday evening then, there's going to be variable amounts of cloud across Scotland. There may be some early evening sunny spells, but still holding on to some showery outbreaks across Orkney and Shetland. Similar picture across Northern Ireland, variable amounts of cloud here and across Northern England. Best of any early evening sunshine really confined to Wales and the southwest of England, with the far southeast perhaps seeing a shower or two, especially across parts of Kent. So as we go through Monday night then, a similar picture to previous nights with lengthy clear skies. There'll still be a few showers around across Orkney and Shetland and perhaps even across East Anglia, and more so a focus across the far southeast of England. Otherwise, it's still going to be a chilly night out there, perhaps across Scotland not as cold with just a subtle shift in the wind direction, but mist and fog patches to start Tuesday morning and perhaps with a rural grass frost. So as we go through Tuesday, well, many places seeing another fine day, plenty of blue sky around, a bit more cloud just filtering in through the afternoon, especially across East Anglia, where we may see even a few showers for the far southeast. Otherwise, sunny spells into the afternoon, drier across Orkney and Shetland. Bye-bye.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Right, OK, so you sit down for an evening to watch a bit of television. So if I watch a bit of television, I watch it for the duration of the programme.
Yeah, that's what you should be doing. You go, I want to watch this. This is really interesting.
Yeah.
And then if it's not interesting, then you might change.
I even watch programmes that aren't interesting because I've just sort of maybe flicked on Channel 4 or something and I thought, oh, this is very interesting. I'll tell you what I watched last night, Educating Yorkshire.
Oh, but that's a really good show.
Oh, so many beautiful children in that. Really,
and that is just really.
I wish I could be a teacher. It's inspiring to be the work that teachers do.
Can I just say, yeah, I mean, a thankless task, though, isn't it, being a teacher in many ways?
I agree with you. I agree with you. So much responsibility. They're meant to be teachers. They're meant to be educators. They're meant to be nurses. They're meant to be social workers. They're meant to be so many things. But anyway, there's a survey out here, and it says that a survey's found that the average one of us in the country can only concentrate on television for 14 minutes at a time, right?
14 minutes.
So if you sit down for a film or a TV show, you're only gonna spend 14, 15 minutes, and then you're gonna.
And then what? Go and make a cup of tea.
Well...
Or do you know, I tell you what that is.
What?
That's 14 minutes. I bet you that's I'm sorry, but that'll be the dreaded lure of the mobile phone. You suddenly get a ping and you go, oh, I'll just quickly look at that. Before you know it, you're off. I mean, not me. I don't do that.
Doing two things at once or
but
three
you're doing
things.
two things at once, and then all of a sudden you might sort of do a couple of, I don't know, reels of pictures of cats, and videos of dogs kind of leaping about and everything, or a dog on a surfboard. You know what it's like.
Young people.
I think I'm probably saying young people. Does it say young people?
No, but it doesn't. But maybe just they get to an advert and then that's them finished. The other thing they don't do, young people definitely don't do, is watch black and white programmes or films. Would you watch a black and white film?
Oh, if it's really good. Wasn't that one... was the artist in black and white? Was that the silent film with the lovely Jack Russell? Was that in black and white?
It could well have been.
I think it was in black and white and only a little bit of it was in colour. And I loved it. Yes, I would do. I would do if it was really good. And certainly, for example, if it was about something that was filmed in black and white, I would. As in, old newsreel footage. Any other things that you've spotted there?
No, we have no concentration.
I like those glasses.
Do you?
Sorry, I've suddenly gone off, haven't I? I've actually lost concentration.
Lost concentration. Don't lose concentration with the Great British Giveaway. It is excellent. Have a go.
You're not going to want to miss our greatest Great British Giveaway so far. You could bank an incredible £30,000 in tax-free cash to spend however you like. And if that wasn't enough, you'll also get to drive away in this brand new motorhome. With thanks to Marquis Leisure, this brand new 2025 Benamar Primero could be yours. It comes with all the mod cons you'd expect from a vehicle worth over £74,000 and comfortably sleeps 4 people. This prize package is worth over £104,000. And remember, if you can dream it, you can drive it away. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrants must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. The winner will be contacted live on GB News, week commencing 10th of November. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
So you know how a bit earlier we mentioned Late Night Live, which looks really, really good.
On tonight, on GB News tonight, yeah.
GB News, midnight tonight. And I said, how many time zones were there in the United States of America?
Yeah.
And I went through most of the numbers apart from 6, which is how many there are.
Well, that's a lot.
There we go. It is a lot of time zones.
It's a lot for you to remember and have concentration on the whole thing.
Exactly. Also, how do you make, if you live across different time zones? For example, if you lived on one side of the street and the other side of the street was an hour later, what time?
No idea.
Right, OK.
Right.
You know what I was going to say?
I know what you know,
Meet you for coffee at 11. You're 11, my 11.
Indeed. But if you're on the train these days, you could get a film, and the film would be explaining why you're being delayed or whatever. And if you're suffering disruption, you just watch one of these videos and they tell you what to do next. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Is that educating you, or do you think you're being treated as an idiot as a result of all of that? OK, we're going to be debating that. Do we need things explained to us on video on the train, or would it be nicer just hearing it from a person or over the tannoy or whatever? Back with that right after this.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints. How many fingers have I got up?
About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions, but every Friday night at 9 p.m. you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
In the GB newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
We're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletin's here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
So here's the thing, train passengers who have their travel disrupted will be able to watch videos explaining what's happened and what they should do next. Stop it, Eamonn.
OK. These videos are called visual disruption maps. Why don't they just call them videos?
I don't know.
And they will be produced within half an hour of a major incident and be available between 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. on weekdays and between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. on weekends.
Yeah. What happens outside of those hours, if there's any disruption, who knows? But is it necessary, or are the public being treated like...
See, I'm quite interested how they do this. So this is like a TV station or something. Would this come on live, or would this have to be a pre-recorded tape?
Do you know what? I have no idea.
Let's talk to people who may have ideas on this one. Yeah. Joined by the Director of Public Affairs Institute for Economic Affairs, and that's Maxwell Marlowe. Maxwell, good morning to you. And then we have the political commentator, James Mathewson.
Yeah, right. So let's get, first of all, Maxwell, what do you think about this? Is the public, or are the public being treated like idiots?
I think it's very interesting. They've already rolled this out in the north of England, and it seems to be popular with the very small amount of people who already watch it. But what it seems to me is quite ominous, given that we're bringing most of the actually bringing the entire train network into nationalisation. It's going to be run by the government. So they seem to be rolling this out ahead of what's going to be, I think, a disastrous few years for train travel. I just don't think this is necessary at all. I mean, I think it works well if you have, so it's done in British Sign Language and with subtitles. That's good for people with disabilities. But for everyone else, it just seems a bit silly. If I'm disrupted whenever I take a train, which happens quite a lot nowadays, I just, I listen on the tannoy, or I look at my phone and it will just tell me. This seems like quite an expensive bung to whichever lucky contractors manage to gain this contract. And it does seem like the public are being taken for fools, to be honest. I mean, all we ask for is just a working train network. We don't want, even more content being pushed in our faces to explain something that could have been solved by just, I don't know, maybe investing a little bit more money into the rail network.
James, you have an opposite view, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't need to watch it. It's as simple as that.
Maxwell's just kind of pointed out a very clear and obvious thing, which is the fact that for some people, and for those who do watch it, especially those with accessibility needs, because our train network at the moment is very difficult to navigate for many people with various disabilities, from physical disabilities to hidden disabilities. And this can give people reassurance, it can give them an understanding. Because if you're stuck in a train, I was coming back from London to Newcastle a couple of weeks ago, and I had to stand from there to York. We got to York, there was an incident, and somebody got removed from the train by British Transport Police. Nobody knew what was going on. We stood there for an hour. We got various kind of intermittent updates. They couldn't tell us anything. Nobody knew what was happening. And then about 2 hours later, we got an update. It was hellish, and people didn't know what was happening. People were nervous. People were anxious. If those few people who feel that way can be reassured by this, then it's a good thing. And those like Maxwell who don't like it don't need to watch it because it's a choice.
James, absolutely amazing listening to you. I mean, I'm wheelchair bound for the past 2.5 years, and I have not been able to take a train in that time because, quite simply, they're not geared up for it in any way. They're not geared up for me bringing a bag of any description on board and being able to put it up on a shelf or whatever. Nothing. It's just unbelievable. So, I mean, information is key. It can be the issue to everything, and we just want to know, as you were saying, Maxwell, what is going on, what is happening. Keep us in the loop.
Well, that is true. It's quite strange from what Jim's been saying, because under what was called the Citizens Charter in the 1990s, companies had a mandate from the government to inform any passengers of any disruption within 15 minutes. And it seems to me that this is just a very expensive way of trying to fulfil that need without actually really fulfilling it, because I'm not sure how this is going to be broadcast to passengers, especially if they don't have access to a mobile phone, for example, or their phone's turned off, or whatever else. So what I'm concerned about is they'll produce the video and then they won't tell you over any other means, and that could be quite an easy way to get out of this particular bit of law, which seeks to hold service operators to account.
Okay. Well, I can tell you, gentlemen, unfortunately, time has beaten us, so that's our video announcement to you, and that's live as it's happening right here, right now. Thank you both very much indeed. Bye-bye.
Yes, Maxwell Marlowe, Director of Public Affairs Institute for Economic Affairs, and James Matthewson, a political commentator. It's also that stuff about sort of, when they say, careful as you move around the station because it's raining, certain surfaces might be slippery.
Yes.
And I think, well, hello, Sherlock Holmes.
Coming up, Arsenal scored a very, very late one to get a draw against Man City in the Premier League. Paul will tell you more about that right after this.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. There are disruptions on the A14 westbound at Junction 9 near Kettering South due to a road collision with one of 2 lanes closed. Meanwhile, a broken down vehicle on the M27 eastbound exit Slip Road at Junction 9 has led to lane closures in Hampshire. Conditions here are expected to return to normal shortly. And on the trains, London North Western Railway services between Bedford and Bletchley are reduced, and Northern has replaced trains with buses between Corkickle and Whitehaven. Additionally, no trains are operating at Edge Hill. Stay alert for local updates, and for more travel news go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Westminster, the ultimate clique. And you're fighting like rats in a sack. But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask.
OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician.
Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah,
and now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters. Real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints. How many fingers have I got up?
About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's political podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's political podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
In the GB newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK, we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
I think for far too long in this country, millions of people felt as though they weren't represented at all by the establishment media.
GB News was needed because there literally was no other voice. Everyone was saying the same thing.
GB News exists because there is a desperate need for fearless journalism that puts the people first. GB News came on the scene as a disruptor, and it has always been a disruptor ever since.
The mainstream is all about keeping the status quo as it is, ticking along quite nicely. They don't want to ask difficult questions.
But journalism is journalism at the end of the day, and we're not here to serve any masters. Our masters are our audience.
Charlie Peters, he gave a voice to the victims of grooming gangs, and now, of course, it's led to a national inquiry.
GB News exists to make sure those concerns are put forward and people feel as though what they want to ask is put to those in power.
We don't take orders from anyone. We ask the questions our viewers and listeners want answering.
I know what's actually being discussed by my family and my friends. Us ordinary, hard-working British people have had enough. We've had enough.
They're fed up with the same old establishment nonsense. Everything that we do is opening up conversations that others are afraid to go at. Why are you illegally bringing people into Britain?
That is our job. Our job is to get to the truth.
If it's important to you watching or listening at home, then it's important to us as well.
That's what makes us the fearless champion of Britain.
And from the fearless champions of news to the fearless champion of sport, Mr. Paul here. Paul, the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo.
Yeah.
Just a general observation to make, and that is no gold medals for the Great Britain and Northern Irish team.
Yeah, it's not really. First time in 22 years that we've had no golds. 64 members of the team. Only 5 medals in all. The relays, so much money was put in. It's also the relays. And I always love the relays. It's always one of the most exciting things as you have at the end, the 4x100 metres. And of course, Chris won in the 4x400 metre relay at the World Championship in '91. But the first thing, you just want to get the baton round, don't you? And the thing is, I was also speaking to people over the weekend saying, technically, what Britain are really good, they're really good because it's such a technical event of getting the baton from one person to another, but they messed that up as well. So it really was a bit of a disaster. Let's have a little look at the 800 metres, because this is the women's 800 metres, which everybody would have been talking about, because Keely Hodgkinson, who'd also said earlier on in the year that she was going to break the world record. She was determined she was going to do that. She's had a bad time since Paris last year with injuries.
She looks as if she's going to do it
She looks okay there. She looks quite comfortable, but then she said, the legs just didn't work towards towards the end. And Georgia Hunter-Bell, who has often been in her shadow, was a training mate, went past. She ended up with silver, but Kenya's Lillian Adira had to ruin it for all of us. So she ended up.
Penny is fascinated with the Balon d'Or
Yes,
tonight.
because ballon means ball and balloon, and I read also flask.
Yes.
So is it the golden balloon? Is it the golden flask? Or is it a golden ball?
It's the best sporting flask of the year that's been used
I would love
by
that because
anyone.
I am very good with a tartan thermos. You should see me whip out my minestrone.
Really? With a little plastic thing?
Love it,
pour
with
it
the
in.
handle on the top. Yeah, exactly, as I sit on the side of the motorway.
Well, you should win the Ballon d'Or if it was the golden flask. Unfortunately, is the ball. It's the Théâtre du Châtelet, which is where it will be. It's always voted by... See, I always find it strange that it's voted by French football journalists. So it's not... Although it's the world... so known as the world's greatest footballer, it's French because they came up with it in the first place. So that is our ball, and that we are going to play with it.
Who are the contenders? Who's up for the Ballon d'Or?
I'll tell you who's up for the Ballon d'Or. We've got Jude Bellingham. As far as people that we would know, Ousmane Dembele, I believe, is going to be the player that will win it from PSG. We've got
PSG?
Paris Saint-Germain.
Oh, Paris Saint-Germain.
Donnarumma, who plays in goal for Manchester City. We've got Haaland, Kane, Scott McTominay. I mean, how about that? Left Manchester United. Now plays at Napoli.
Fair play to that fella, how he's applied himself in Italy, and things have gone so well for him. He should never have been sold by Man United.
Well, it proves it. There we are. There's Harry. And also we've got Alexis McAllister, Virgil van Dijk of Liverpool. Mo Salah is nominated. Declan Rice, loads of others. Lionel Messi's won it the most times. He's got 8 flasks. And Cristiano Ronaldo's got 5 of those, the Czech ones. And also we will go through some of the old winners, and we'll do that in about an hour's time.
Good lad. Thank you very much indeed, Paul. Appreciate it. Right, we're going to take a short break there. We're going to be back, and we're talking to Ed Davey, head of the Lib Dems, after their conference, and we'll be doing that right after this short break.
Oh, and they're doing the newspapers.
Ready to soak up that holiday sunshine?
Won't we need some cover?
No worries, all sorted.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Hello. Well, it's a mixed picture out there across Europe. Rain and thunderstorms for some, but even still, we've got some warm sunshine out there. So showery outbreaks of rain affecting Madeira, but across much of Portugal and Spain, fine, dry and settled. But there is this area of low pressure, and that's going to bring showers, perhaps even thunderstorms, especially across the Alps. Best of the sunshine across Greece, feeling warm here. And that's a similar picture as we go through the week. Sunny spells and highs of up to 27 degrees.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain's Newsroom, weekday mornings from 9:30.
Bev, I'm so sad that you're leaving Britain, but so excited that you're going to go and conquer the United States of America.
Congratulations on this fantastic posting, and I hope you have a fantastic time on your big political adventure in Washington, D.C.
And I just know this is your time, this is your place, America is your place. You are going to shine.
Yeah, Bev, you're going to absolutely smash it. America, be ready for Bev Turner.
I'm actually not even going to say good luck. You don't need it. You're going to bring Washington down like a storm, bringing us the inside track of everything.
It's the reconquest of America. You are going where Columbus went before, and remember that the English are best.
We're really, really excited about GB News America, and you are the perfect person to be fronting it. We can't wait to watch you, although it's going to be so hard not seeing you in the studio.
Yeah, we're going to miss you hugely, Bev. We know you are absolutely going to smash it. You will be. You're going to have them on the run.
Good luck to you. You won't need it because you're a legend. We saw that at Turnberry, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in just a few weeks. Love you. Wow.
Well, it's been a ball, Bev. Nobody could say it's been dull, eventful, unpredictable, erratic. We've not always seen eye to eye, but it has been a great experience for me, and my loss is America's gain. So the very best of luck to you.
Oh, that was quite emotional. I got quite tearful then.
Well, the people are very fond of you, but great outpouring of love and affection and admiration for what you're going to do.
And I'm going to, honestly, I'm not leaving GB News. Let's just be clear. I am going to be hosting a show Monday to Thursday. You're going to be seeing me all over every show. Hopefully, I'll be popping up here and there. I'll do some exclusive bits for Andrew here. I'll send
Thought you'd say
GB News, the People's Channel.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
Dawn and Chris now with the newspapers, and let's start with the front page of the Sun. Here is the headline: elite soldier shot 7 times in live ammo mix-up. Who's going to deal with this one, Chris?
Well, myself, I mean, I served in the British Army for 15 years, and certainly the first 4 weeks of basic training is ensuring that you understand about the perils of live fire, firing blanks, and the mixture of the two. This is at the elite level now, a very experienced soldier, obviously now involved with the Special Forces. It appears that it was his first time with the Special Forces, so very experienced soldier, first time in the Special Forces. They've got a nighttime activity. Soldier A is in a defensive position. Soldier B is the guy that actually unloads his weapon. He's reloaded his magazine and reloaded it with live firing in a exercise condition, and fired off seven rounds into the chest, arm, and various torso of Soldier A.
But he would have had to have been supplied with that, wouldn't he? Is the problem not with whoever supplies it?
Well, you think so, but I guess at that level, you are. When I say arm, you are loading yourself. You're responsible for yourself.
Why would he have any live ammo on him?
That is the question. So he has mistakenly packed blanks and live together in different pouches. Why? I haven't got a clue. But it has happened. You know, he wasn't detailed to be firing. So he wasn't detailed to be firing. It's just that in the exercise, some of his oppos had metaphorically died, and so he took it on himself to go in and start firing. And in so doing, reloaded the second time with live fire and took out Soldier A.
Scary, isn't it?
100%.
So you should say that body armour did save the victim, but he did have life-changing injuries.
Yeah, but with the body armour, Soldier A put that on by mistake because it helped him pack other stuff. He didn't have to have the body armour. So if he hadn't had the body armour, Soldier A would not have been here today. So it's just quite frightening, and to realise right at the top, at such an experienced level, this sort of mistake can happen.
Yeah, it really is quite a remarkable story. Dawn, what would you like to go
Should we talk conkers?
Oh, let us talk.
It's that time of the year now, isn't it?
It's that time of the year.
That's nuts.
Everywhere.
If you are... Stop it. If you are of a certain age, because kids don't play conkers anymore, any case...
Because they're not allowed to, are they?
Is it because they're dangerous?
Health and safety, love.
Yeah, elf.
You kill yourself.
Those are elves.
No, but this is the World Conker competition has been cancelled.
The World Conker Championships. I used to report on that on the Peter Evening Telegraph.
See, that's why I picked it, because I knew, Penny, that you were in there.
And why would it need to be cancelled?
Well, because of the weather we've had this summer, global warming, the tiny conkers, they're too small to play conkers with.
They are so small.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But now they used to make them even... used to bake them in vinegar and make them even harder.
Yeah,
crispy.
That was cheating, you know that.
Well,
no,
really
but we all had to do that.
Absolutely, yeah. You stoked it in vinegar, you baked it. This time of the year, September, when you went back to school, it was conker time.
Great.
You got wrapped on knuckles every now and again, but you had fun, didn't you?
In any case, the competition was used to be held in Southwick in Northamptonshire, but because it's been a long, hot, dry summer, everyone's got small conkers.
It's weird, isn't it? Because I went past a sweet chestnut tree the other day, and it was awash with massive
absolutely, yeah. Can't wait 2 weeks' time.
I think next time we're in, Chris, we should bring some conkers in and have a competition in the
Okay, I'll bring the conkers and the sweet chestnuts.
No vinegar, no beating the other. I mean, do kids even play conkers anymore?
I don't think so.
More than a quarter of people think the next Archbishop of Canterbury, whoever that is, we've been without one for a year or so now, should talk less about political topics. Well, what do you make of this? Stay out of politics, people urge the church. This is in the, I don't know what it's in.
It's in the page 5 of the, whatever it is. Anyway, so look, separation of church and state. We've had separation of church and state for eons, and Archbishop Justin Welby, as he was then, had to resign over some safeguarding issues. However, I think it's very difficult to separate some things like this, because the Archbishop is supposed to talk for the vulnerable. He's supposed to speak for the marginalised.
So for the homeless.
For the homeless, exactly.
For the unemployed, for the people who are struggling and everything, which of course strays into politics, because some of the reason that they're in that position is because of the way that the social services and the social security hasn't worked.
The church has always been linked to politics. I mean, the Bible is about politics to a certain extent. I mean, it's impossible to separate the two. I mean, the other story linked to this one is the letter from the clergy at the weekend saying the cross had been weaponised.
Don, just cut across you now, because we've got the leader of the Liberal Democrats, Ed Davey, available now, where his annual conference, the Lib Dem Conference, has just come to an end. Good conference, Ed?
Oh, it hasn't come to an end. I've got my speech tomorrow, Eamonn.
That was me preempting you.
I'd like to be on your programme.
Just think ahead, Ed, and just tell us about how brilliant it was.
Looking forward to that. Well,
listen, I actually, if I'm honest with you, I wanted to be in my wetsuit swimming today, but it's good to be on your programme.
We are surprised to not see you in your wetsuit, to be fair.
Ed, what do you think? The big headline today is about the situation in Palestine, with the Palestine, the annual conference there. What was I going to talk about? The Palestinian recognition. What do you make about the recognition of a Palestinian state?
Well, Liberal Democrats have been campaigning for that for nearly a decade, so we welcome it. And it's great that Australia, Canada and Portugal have joined the UK and many others now in saying we should recognise Palestine and recognising Palestine. But we now need to go to the next step, don't we? As you were saying, there's the United Nations General Assembly happening now, where over 2/3 of the world want to recognise Palestine. I want our Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, to be there arguing for that case, arguing for peace, to end the conflict in Gaza, get the hostages released. And I'm not sure if he's made that decision. And it would be odd if he didn't go, frankly. In the past, Prime Ministers have gone. The last one who didn't go was Rishi Sunak. When he didn't go in 2023, Labour criticised him. And if the Prime Minister doesn't go, it will be more like continuity Sunak. You know, we need Britain's voice there at the United Nations to try to work for peace because of the damaging effects it has on people in Israel, in Palestine and in the whole region.
These headlines today, though, that are in many of the papers, which are saying that it's handing a great prize to Hamas. I mean, Hamas saying this is brilliant news.
Well, I don't believe anything Hamas says, do you? They're a genocidal organisation. They don't believe in a two-state solution. They should have no part in any future Palestine state. Indeed, just the other week, I met the president of the Palestinian Authority, Mahmoud Abbas. I have my criticism of them, but I have to say they are far more moderate and would work with a moderate government in Israel to bring about the two-state solution, which is the only way. Everyone agrees it's the only way to get the peace that we need and to end the killing and to get the food, water, medicine into the people in Gaza who are starving and get the hostages released. So we need to make progress. And yes, recognition of Palestine's part of that. I think it's helpful, but it's nowhere near enough. And that's why I hope the Prime Minister will go and represent Britain at the United Nations General Assembly.
We spoke last week and you were talking about how you weren't going to attend the state banquet for Donald Trump last week. I just wonder, you talk about meeting the head of the Palestinian Authority there, but you didn't meet Donald Trump. Any regrets?
No, well, I've been to a number of state banquets in the past. It's been a huge honour. And what I learned from them is you don't actually get to talk to the visiting head of state, unlike when I was able to have a proper conversation with Mahmoud Abbas. Listen, I actually think we achieved our objectives because although I had really intended to go to the banquet because I thoroughly respect the king, when I wrote to him and explained why not and decided not to go, I was able to get a debate in our country about the power and responsibility of President Trump to bring peace, to phone Netanyahu to get him to call off the fighting, and also to call the Qatari governments and governments of the Gulf state to get Hamas to release the terrorists. And although I wasn't able to say that to him personally, what happened at the press conference afterwards was the media asked the questions I said should be asked, and I was delighted to see that.
Ed, I've got to cut across you. We're out of time as we reach the top of the hour. Appreciate your time this morning. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Today, clouds overhead, total zen within. Box Solar sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning, welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Well, it's a chilly start out there this morning, but plenty of sunny spells as high pressure becomes more dominant as we go through the week. So any mist and fog patches soon lifting and clearing. Otherwise, plenty of blue sky out there throughout much of Monday. Cloudier across parts of Scotland and holding on to some showers still across Orkney and Shetland with that brisk northwesterly wind. Some cloud generally filtering in across East Anglia, but otherwise in the sunshine, highs of up to 16 or 17 degrees. So feeling pleasant, but temperatures widely still a little bit below average for the time of year. So through Monday evening then, there's going to be variable amounts of cloud across Scotland. There may be some early evening sunny spells, but still holding on to some showery outbreaks across Orkney and Shetland. Similar picture across Northern Ireland, variable amounts of cloud here and across Northern England. Best of any early evening sunshine really confined to Wales and the southwest of England, with the far southeast perhaps seeing a shower or two, especially across parts of Kent. So as we go through Monday night then, a similar picture to previous nights with lengthy clear skies. There'll still be a few showers around across Orkney and Shetland and perhaps even across East Anglia, and more so a focus across the far southeast of England. Otherwise, it's still going to be a chilly night out there, perhaps across Scotland not as cold with just a subtle shift in the wind direction, but mist and fog patches to start Tuesday morning and perhaps with a rural grass frost. So as we go through Tuesday, well, many places seeing another fine day, plenty of blue sky around, a bit more cloud just filtering in through the afternoon, especially across East Anglia, where we may see even a few showers for the far southeast. Otherwise, sunny spells into the afternoon, drier across Orkney and Shetland. Bye-bye.
Today, clouds overhead, total zen within. Box Solar sponsors the weather on
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. Currently on the M62 eastbound, there is a significant incident between junction 32 and junction 32A, resulting in an overturned vehicle. Drivers in the area should anticipate delays eastbound. In Hampshire, on the M27 eastbound exit slip at junction 9, a broken down vehicle is causing lane closures and minor delays. Normal traffic conditions are expected later this morning. On the trains, there are minor delays on some East Midlands railway routes, and London North Western Railway is operating a reduced service between Bedford and Bletchley. Please plan your travels accordingly. Stay informed, and for more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
This is your chance to win a motorhome and cash in our biggest giveaway to date. Courtesy of Marquis Leisure, you could be the proud owner of this 2025 Benamar Primero. It comfortably accommodates 4 people and can be driven on your standard driving licence. Plus, you'll also bank an incredible £30,000 in tax-free cash to spend on anything you like. Make sure you don't miss out. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus 1 standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus 1 standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m, only on GB News.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
Oh, no, he didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Hello there, very good morning to you. Hamas declaring victory after the government officially recognises the state of Palestine.
But the Prime Minister insists that this is not a reward for terrorism.
Hamas is a brutal terror organisation. Our call for a genuine two-state solution is the exact opposite of their hateful vision.
Australia and Canada have also recognised the state of Palestine, and Keir Starmer claims the move is a result of Israel's failure to meet key conditions of a ceasefire.
But as Benjamin Netanyahu criticises the move as a huge reward for terrorism, we're asking, could it bring peace to the Middle East?
Nigel Farage will today pledge to expel hundreds of thousands of migrants in a mass deportation move, which he claims will save £234 billion. Your views welcome.
And that young man, I forgive him.
Charlie Kirk's widow pays tribute to the political activist as President Trump describes him as an American hero.
And this morning, we remember throughout the programme our friend and former colleague, the legendary broadcaster John Stapleton, who died at the weekend at the age of 79.
And we'll be joined by the latest addition to the GB News family, Patrick and Emily with baby George.
And sport this morning, 3 draws of the Premier League yesterday, including a last-minute goal for Arsenal against Manchester City. For the first time in 22 years, no gold medals for Great Britain at the World Athletics Championship. And ahead of the Ryder Cup, Luke Donald says the American fans may turn against their own team. Trust me, Luke, they won't.
We've got a quieter week of weather ahead with higher pressure dominating, but some chilly nights on the cards. I'll have all the details coming up shortly.
Hello there on this Monday morning. Thank you for starting your day and your week with us here on GB News. I'm Eamonn Holmes.
I'm Penny Smith, and this is GB News Breakfast.
to discuss in the programme today, and straight away we are going to the Deputy Chairman of the Conservative Party, Matt Vickers. And Matt, your concern this morning, we've had a big announcement from the Prime Minister as regards a Palestine state, but you think the Prime Minister has other questions to answer, because as to where he's got a big donation from in his party and his Chief of Staff, Morgan McSweeney.
Yeah, well, epic failings here. We've seen some of the scandal that's surrounding this Labour government, whether it be Angela Rayner and her tax affairs, whether it be that anti-corruption minister who went down as a result of, allegations in a corruption probe. We're seeing disaster after disaster, but this one probably is more important, probably is more consequential. So Morgan McSweeney, the man at the helm, the man who's pulling the strings with Keir Starmer, now implicated in what is a huge scandal, actually. So the donations taken from Labour Together, or several donations over several years, the Electoral Commission found 20 failings in the way that these were handled, fined the party £14,000. But now they said it was an error, it was an admin error, and someone, human error. Someone made a mistake about what they were and weren't recording. Now it's emerged, there are leaked emails that evidence that these discussions were going on, and it appears that they may have deliberately misled the Electoral Commission. Really serious consequences. We're calling on the police to investigate this situation. The people who make the rules, the people in charge of electoral systems in this country, should be held to the highest standards, and if the law's been broke, there should be serious consequences for number 10.
Now, there is a spokesman for the organisation which said Labour Together proactively raised concerns about its own reporting of donations to the Electoral Commission in 2020. Labour Together fully cooperated, and this investigation was completed in 2021, and the outcome was made public.
This is money that propelled Starmer's leadership election and put him in number 10. And now many of the people who work for that organisation are now at the helm of government. They're in high-end public-funded jobs. The reality is they failed to declare this, and now it's come out. Those emails tell us that this thing was highlighted long before it was conceded. Lots, and it stinks, to be quite frank. It stinks. Cover-ups by all accounts. The questions need to be asked, the questions need to be answered, the police need to get involved, and these people need to be held to account.
To what extent would this money have been used, Matt? I'm just wondering, all the talk there was about Keir Starmer's glasses and suits and ties and various things. I mean, are you suggesting it could have been spent on that in this bid to propel him into number 10?
We know that Keir Starmer isn't afraid to take gifts and hospitality from people, whether that be his wife's shopping, whether it be his new glasses, whatever it might be. He's very happy to take donations and contributions. But this money from Labour Together was actually spent on his leadership campaign. It was, Labour Together, the guys who undermined Corbyn, who then funded Keir Starmer's leadership campaign, put him in number 10, put lots of those people working around Keir Starmer in jobs funded by the taxpayer. It stinks. It's rotten. The Electoral Commission need to turn this over to the police. We've written to them asking them to do so that those really serious...
Okay.
Of all the scandals that are going on at the moment, this one might actually be one that breaks the law.
Now that he's in number 10, what about policy, Matt? What about sort of things that were, today, this recognition of Palestine, this creation of a Palestinian state? Where do you stand on that?
I think it brings huge shame on this country. We should be working with the US. We should be trying to get those hostages back who've now been there for 2 years in the worst of circumstances. You've seen the footage of these people emaciated, starved, put through awful situations. You've seen the humanitarian crisis that's going on in Gaza. We should be working with the US to get those hostages home, to get that aid into Gaza and bring about some of the suffering of those innocent men and women and children. And we should also be working to ensure that a terrorist organisation like Hamas does not have control or leverage over anybody. We need to see them marched out of Gaza. That is the only way forwards here. This is a reward for terrorism, for those evil, vile people in Hamas and what they inflicted on the 7th of October. This is their reward. This is a message that Keir Starmer is sending to terrorists. If you go out there, if you inflict the most awful atrocities ever seen, Your objectives will be met. Palestine will be recognised. This is not the way forward. No conditions at all placed on Hamas as part of this agreement. It is completely, it's basically Keir Starmer protecting himself. He knows his leadership is under threat, and the only way to deal with that is to court the loony lefties in his own party.
Except, Matt, that there are so many other countries who are already either about to or have actually recognised Palestine, Canada and Australia going to be among them, France and I think Belgium. Can I just ask you about a story which has made the front pages of quite a lot of the papers as well? The Daily Telegraph headline, Nigel Farage, and it says, Farage, I'll kick out hundreds of thousands. This is the Reform leader promising drastic action on those with indefinite leave to remain in the UK. This is going further than anybody thought.
Well, it's often, it's a tweet or it's a press conference from Nigel Farage, but what we need is firm plans. You can't do these things on the back of a fag packet. The reality is we've put forward a real plan. We put forward amendments to bills that would see us, we're looking at reducing the ability of foreigners to claim benefits off the taxpayers here. We know that is completely out of control. And the benefit system itself, Farage has had things to say on that. He said that we should remove the caps, remove the limits, that 2-child cap, so that people can claim ever-increasing numbers in benefits. We've got a deportation bill there. We've done the homework, a real plan to take control of these borders. It's there. It could be voted on tomorrow.
I'll tell you what, Matt, anybody watching you would just say, the Labour Party's been in for a year. You were in for a lot longer, and it's all very well and good saying this is what we should have done, but you should have done it. It should have been done.
What's happened Kemi wasn't the leader. I wasn't a minister in that government, but the reality is that things haven't carried on under the Labour Party. They've got significantly worse. The number of people breaking into this country, arriving illegally, is up nearly 40%. The number in hotels were being closed before the general election. In fact, if we'd carried on that trajectory, they would have all been closed now. Instead, there are more people in hotels, and the number of people who are breaking into the country and being returned is actually down. Everything is going the wrong way, not a little bit, disastrously going the wrong way. We've got a deportation bill we've put forward. We have said that this country, in cases of immigration and deportation, we need to disapply the Human Rights Act. Put the taxpayer and their elected MPs in charge of who can and cannot stay in this country instead of overly creative judges. That is the way forwards. That plan will be there, properly put together. We're going to have, we're having a review of the ECHR and our role within that. We've got to get serious about this because it's costing the taxpayer. It's costing us in terms of our public services. It's costing us in terms of housing. We need to get real on this. It's a real big challenge to this country.
Thank you, Matt.
The state of our economy is the other big challenge that's coming down the line.
Thank you. We'll leave it there. Disapply the Human Rights Act. How many times have you heard that? That's what Matt Vickers, Deputy Chairman of the Conservative Party, is saying this morning. Your views, welcome on that. Have your say as we say goodbye to him.
Yeah, now to our top story. Sir Keir Starmer has faced a backlash after formally recognising Palestine as an independent state.
In the face of the growing horror in the Middle East, we are acting to keep alive the possibility of peace and a two-state solution. That means a safe and secure Israel alongside a viable Palestinian state.
Well, families of Israeli hostages have said this is handing Hamas its greatest prize, while the Prime Minister said it doesn't reward the terrorist organisation. Joined now by GB News political correspondent Olivia Utley on this one. Does it reward them? Does it not reward them? What's your take, Olivia?
Well, there are certainly two ways of looking at it. As you heard from Matt Vickers there are those who argue that essentially because this recognition comes with no strings attached and it didn't happen before the 7th of October 2023, then it suggests that Hamas is in some way being rewarded for the atrocities carried out. On the other hand, what the Prime Minister is saying, what supporters of the Prime Minister are saying, is that in recognising a two-state solution, then they are essentially saying that Hamas could not be involved in the future of the region because, of course, Hamas's explicit goal is to destroy Israel from the river to the sea. So the Prime Minister argues that actually by saying that there would be a Palestine and an Israel, he is saying that that Hamas could not have a future in the government of Palestine. Of course, this is all a symbolic move. We are not looking at the possibility, you can see on your screen, screens now. We are nowhere near the prospect of any kind of two-state solution. And as you mentioned there, Penny, in some ways it isn't that controversial in that other countries, including France and Belgium, and now just in the last couple of days, Canada and Australia have also symbolically recognised Palestine as its own nation. That said, it is controversial when it comes both to Britain's relationship with Israel, of course, and also Britain's relationship with the US. We saw that charm offensive last week between President Trump and Keir Starmer, but of course President Trump is absolutely certain that there cannot be any kind of two-state solution at any point anytime soon unless Hamas and the government in the region makes huge drastic changes. So that it could be that this represents the beginning of some kind of split between the UK and the US on foreign policy. And of course that could be very damaging to the UK, who is trying to agree all sorts of economic deals with the US, most notably those steel tariffs.
Olivia, the other, when President Trump was here, the other issue that, of course, was discussed was about immigration, migrants, and we've got reform now with Nigel Farage saying, I'll kick out hundreds of thousands of people. This is about those with indefinite leave to remain in the UK, people who are here legally. And various issues with that. They're saying that under reforms plans, they'd be forced to reapply for their visas every 5 years, meet a higher salary threshold than 35 grand for skilled workers, and wait 7 years before applying for a British passport. There's also being fluent in English, having good character, clean criminal record, etc., etc., etc. This is going further than anybody expected.
Well, absolutely. So Nigel Farage has already explained what he would do about illegal migrants to the UK. But as he says in an op-ed for the Mail this morning, the illegal problem is just the tip of the iceberg. There are also hundreds of thousands of migrants who came here, many of them after Brexit, when Boris Johnson, or online people call it the Boris way, when Boris Johnson essentially opened the doors to what he called skilled migrants. Well, Nigel Farage is suggesting that those migrants aren't quite as skilled as Boris Johnson gave them credit for, and what he would like to do is scrap the indefinite leave to remain system completely. Migrants who have settled here in the UK under his plan would have to reapply for a new visa every 5 years. They have to meet a much higher salary threshold. At the moment it's £41,000 or whatever the going rate is for a particular job where we have vacancies. Under Nigel Farage that would go up to £60,000. You mentioned there fluently being able to express their ideas in English, only being allowed to bring one relative to the UK unless they're on a very, very high salary. This is a whole new ballgame. And what I'm really, really interested in what some of those MPs or former MPs who have now defected to reform will have to say about this. Someone like Nadine Dorries, for example, was very close to Boris Johnson. Nigel Farage is now explicitly criticising the former Prime Minister. What will Nadine Dorries have to say about that? What will Danny Kruger, their latest recruit, who was Boris Johnson's very close ally in that government? It'll be fascinating to see if any splits begin to emerge within the Reform Party over this express criticism of Boris Johnson.
Let us have your say on that, folks. Get in touch and we'll reflect those before the end of the programme at 9:30. Olivia, thank you very much indeed. Much appreciated. We'll give you a weather update now. We say hello, good morning, and welcome to Catherine Chalk.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning. Welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Well, it's a chilly start out there this morning, but plenty of sunny spells as high pressure becomes more dominant as we go through the week. So any mist and fog patches soon lifting and clearing. Otherwise, plenty of blue sky out there throughout much of Monday. Cloudier across parts of Scotland and holding on to some showers still across Orkney and Shetland with that brisk northwesterly wind. Some cloud generally filtering in across East Anglia, but otherwise in the sunshine, highs of up to 16 or 17 degrees. So feeling pleasant, but temperatures widely still a little bit below average for the time of year. So through Monday evening then, there's going to be variable amounts of cloud across Scotland. There may be some early evening sunny spells, but still holding on to some showery outbreaks across Orkney and Shetland. Similar picture across Northern Ireland, variable amounts of cloud here and across Northern England. Best of any early evening sunshine really confined to Wales and the southwest of England, with the far southeast perhaps seeing a shower or two, especially across parts of Kent. So as we go through Monday night then, a similar picture to previous nights with lengthy clear skies. There'll still be a few showers around across Orkney and Shetland and perhaps even across East Anglia, and more so a focus across the far southeast of England. Otherwise, it's still going to be a chilly night out there, perhaps across Scotland not as cold with just a subtle shift in the wind direction, but mist and fog patches to start Tuesday morning and perhaps with a rural grass frost. So as we go through Tuesday, well, many places seeing another fine day, plenty of blue sky around, a bit more cloud just filtering in through the afternoon, especially across East Anglia, where we may see even a few showers for the far southeast. Otherwise, sunny spells into the afternoon, drier across Orkney and Shetland. Bye-bye.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
OK, time for the Great British Giveaway now. Still lots of time for you to become our biggest winner to date. Here are all the details.
You're not going to want to miss our greatest Great British giveaway so far. You could bank an incredible £30,000 in tax-free cash to spend however you like. And if that wasn't enough, you'll also get to drive away in this brand new motorhome. With thanks to Marquis Leisure, this brand new 2025 Benimar Primero could be yours. It comes with all the mod cons you'd expect from a vehicle worth over £74,000 and comfortably sleeps 4 people. This prize package is worth over £104,000. And remember, if you can dream it, you can drive it away. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrants must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. The winner will be contacted live on GB News, week commencing 10th November. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
And still to come, we're going to be joined in the studio here to our ever-growing family. There they are there. You've got Patrick, you've got Emily, and you've got little George.
Oh, look at that cute
New addition to the family. So we're going to be finding out all about the Christies, what they're up to right after this.
Five hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates, 5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5. You got me good there. Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah. Uncensored.
Very, very racy tonight.
On the unpredictable.
What does she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
Good afternoon, Britain. Weekdays from midday.
There's a big change in the age of parents, so first-time parents are getting older and older. There's been a significant increase in the number of men over 60 becoming fathers, a 15% increase in just 1 year, and an increase in the number of babies born to foreign parents. But what's really, really concerning is that what's called the total fertility rate, that's the average number of babies that each woman has over her childbearing life has gone down again, and it's now at a record low, just 1.41 children on average per woman. And of course, we need about 2.1 to have a stable population. Now, a lot of people think, well, why don't we want the population to decline? We've been warning about burgeoning population for 50, 60 years now. But I think the really important factor to consider here is it's not really the overall size of the population that matters so much as the proportion of young to old, because that is what we need in order to have enough people working, enough people paying taxes to support people who are retired, to support people who are sick. And that is going down and down and down with huge economic consequences.
Do the figures divide it so that they can say whether the children are of African heritage or of this or of that? Does it tell you those sorts of statistics as well? And if so, what are the... What are they?
Yes, so we know the nationality of mothers who give birth. And in terms of foreign mothers, the greatest number of babies are born to women of Indian and Pakistani heritage. So they are the biggest numbers, the biggest nationalities. But I think what's really important to note is that even with the huge and unpopular levels of immigration that we've had, even with those levels, the birth rate is still falling and the ratio of young to old is still going down.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
We're delighted to welcome into the studio 3 guests this morning.
New reporter. 2
guests we're very happy to see all the time. Patrick Christie's and Emily Carver, husband and wife, and their new little product, little baby George. Peter Alexander.
Close enough. Close enough. We won't quibble about the order. Yeah, this is baby George.
Congratulations, the two of you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. And what sort of birth was it, Emily?
The traditional way.
Was it easy?
I was induced a little bit early because they were worried that maybe he was measuring a little small, so they wanted to get him out, which did mean that it was very, very painful indeed. But I did finally get an epidural towards the end.
How much did you weigh? Sorry, I was going to say.
6.5 pounds.
Yeah,
so a little one.
Honestly, I was in awe of Emily. She basically did all of it on 2 paracetamol until right at the end. Yeah. It's incredible.
Yeah, but that wasn't because I wanted to. That's because the epidural took a while to arrive.
Yeah, it was incredible. I mean, to watch and just to be there, really. I felt very sorry for you, obviously, but, you know, it was...
But the staff were amazing. I had 3 midwives all sort of cheering me on. Push, push, push.
Oh.
And you?
And, of course, him.
I was just,
and my mother.
I was supervising.
You were supervising.
I was supervising, yes.
You
with all my medical knowledge.
You were saying, I need another paracetamol. I'm finding this very difficult.
Absolutely. I resisted the urge to get on the gas in air, but no...
But you know what? We really lucked out. So we were in the labour ward. The baby comes, all well. He's doing well and everything. And then they say, oh, we've actually got a private room downstairs that you can use in the birthing centre. Yeah. So we had quite a calm time after that. Stayed another night at St Mary's.
We should really thank all the staff as well, who were fantastic, because it's a massively nerve-wracking moment, especially when it's your first time, you've never done it before. So they were absolutely amazing.
Midwifery is such an unappreciated profession. Yeah. It really is.
I think it's an amazing profession.
I think it's incredible, incredible. So how have you two taken to being parents? I mean, there you were leading this life, you know, and then little George comes along. Have you taken to it easily, or have you surprised yourselves, or...?
I think we've been quite natural with it.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's still...
I mean, as natural as you can be. I mean, not to toot our own horns, but I think it's going pretty well.
Also, do you do that thing, sorry to interrupt, but do you do that thing, because I've got loads of friends who just said, you know, no matter what happens, constantly going to just check and look at them and go, look, are they breathing?
All the time.
Yeah.
Every night. I really struggle to sleep because... Every single time I hear a little movement, or don't hear something, then I'm over the other side of the bed just checking on him, and Emily's like, leave him alone, leave him alone.
Yeah, because they say all these things about how you need to make sure that they're at the end of their crib and that they have their not duvet. blanket down, etc. So we're always checking to see. But we've been swaddling him in a little Peter Rabbit thing, which he seems to like.
Yes.
But yeah, he's
Emily,
alive and
I'll
kicking.
tell you something. You never stop worrying whether they're
Would you like
2
to-
months, 2
I don't want to
years,
drop him on telly now.
22, 42. You worry about them. He's in your life now.
There we go.
From here on in.
Little guy.
So this is his interview then, Eamonn?
So, yes.
For a baby reporter at GB
also,
News.
Well, on that, we should thank and want to thank all of the GB News, all of the GB News viewers and listeners who've been sending us stuff. We don't have to buy a single item of clothing for the next 6 months. It's fantastic. So keep it coming, everybody.
Is this the stuff for the baby or for you two?
Baby, but, he takes priority at the moment, I think, doesn't he?
He's got lots of little woolly outfits.
Yes. Have you been able to think ahead to work, when everything settles down? Because there I was watching you, and I'm sure you were going through bags of rubbish and things in Birmingham, and then a couple of days later, Emily produces little George, and I thought, well, life's going to change, and you being out on the road and doing all the things you're doing, will change.
Well, absolutely. As it happens, I am actually back on tonight.
Are you?
Because we've got the America launch, haven't we?
Late
over
show.
there.
Yeah,
so
midnight.
I'm going to be doing my 9 p.m. till midnight show this evening, but then I'm back off again until Friday. And I'm back properly from Friday. So we're going to find out. But I do think that I'm probably going to have to stop rampaging around northern France anytime soon and doing some of the reports I was doing over there, and maybe just keep it local at the moment, I suspect. But there you go. I'll pass him back over to you now.
This is awfully quiet.
Well, don't jinx it.
Oh, there we go. There was a little noise. There was a little noise. But yeah, he's been such a sweetie pie. Such a sweetie pie. And the support from our viewers and everything has been
but people
really
are delighted
lovely.
for you. People, it's lovely how people just want happiness and joy, and to see a little life like that. How was he this morning, getting up and you two getting ready and coming out? And
You know what? He was a little alarm clock this morning. 6:50. So I was planning to get up at 7. 6:53, he starts stirring.
Well done.
Having a little cry.
Be a breakfast TV
So we had a little feed, and then we were on our way.
I know. Yeah, it was probably better. He's probably more relaxed than we were, actually. It was the first time. It's the first time I've bothered to try to make myself look presentable for about 2.5 weeks. So I'm not sure if I've succeeded.
You look very handsome.
Thank you very much. But yes.
So who does he look like then?
Okay.
Oh, well, he's
Think
got
he's got the ginger tinge?
a fat, round face.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We'll see. But we took him outside yesterday. We actually took him to church the first time yesterday.
Yeah.
He was in the sunlight, and I think the ginger gene has come through. I think. So,
Lucky him.
yes. There is.
So many people are so happy for you. The first of many, we hope.
Yeah. Well, thank you as well. Also, sorry, just quickly, the lovely GB News team did send us. I think we had a couple of cards and a couple of hampers and everything. So it was really, really kind of everyone. So thank you so much for that. And we're just really excited. And he's getting spoiled rotten. He's the first grandchild.
Yeah.
So both sets of grandparents are just absolutely.
You're just trying to get them out the house and say, no, you can't sleep here again. No.
Oh, bless them.
So you're back
They're welcome.
You're back tonight, and then you're going to be back permanently from Friday night. We're launching the Late Show live tonight from midnight, isn't it?
It's from midnight until 2, so I'm going to do a bit of the lead-in for that, my show, 9 p.m. till midnight, and then ramping that up. Let's get that off the ground. Should be a great thing. What a time to launch an American show as well, with everything going on.
Yeah.
So really looking forward to that. And then a couple more days back at home, and then we go again Friday, forever.
We're going to watch,
Have you been
Daddy.
able to think about you when you would come back?
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. Right. I'll be back soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, we've got a couple of little plans, but we'll keep them. Keep them up our sleeve for now. See what happens there, really. But
lovely talking to you, and every good wish. I know a lot of people out there would be very keen for George to do the rounds around the desks.
Yes.
And thank you both very much indeed. Hello and bye-bye, George.
Thank you for having us. Bye-bye.
The TV debut's gone well.
Do you like it?
God.
George Christie.
Oh, look at the little pout.
Oh.
Yeah.
There we go.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Breakfast television presenter there.
Well, that's how Patrick and Emily and George are getting on. How are you going to get on if you're going to hit the roads? Here's how it's looking.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. On the roads, the M27 eastbound has a broken down vehicle between junctions 8 and 9 with one lane closed. Expect delays. On the M62, there are 30-minute delays eastbound between Wakefield junctions 31 and 32. For those heading southbound on the M6, expect 10-minute hold-ups between junction 11 and 10. In Warwickshire, the A5 southbound between the A47 at Nuneaton and the M69 is experiencing slight delays. On the trains, Great Western Railway passengers face disruptions between Worcester Shrub Hill and Oxford, while London North Western Railway services between Bedford and Bletchley are reduced. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Lots of good wishes flowing in, all little lovely emojis on these messages and whatever. And Martha, he's so cute. But not enough about me, Martha, but what about the baby? Congratulations, Martha says to all of you. Patsy says, lovely to see Patrick and his family. Come back soon, Emily, and control that Tom Harwood.
Yeah, and then we've got Colin, how lovely to see baby George, or gorgeous little fam, says Jocelyn.
What a good boy, eh?
You've done well on your debut, George.
You've done well. Yeah, 10 out of 10.
Well done, the both of you. You make a lovely family. You know,
Yes,
many happy years of that. We'll hit the break there. Still to come, Arsenal scored really late yesterday. It was a late equaliser to draw against Man City in the Premier League. And Paul Coyte will tell you all about that and more with the sport next.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's political podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's political podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
It's Patrick Christie's Tonight, and here we do things differently.
It's explaining the absolute madness of this, doesn't it?
It's explosive.
I mean, this is very good.
It's lively.
850. Your government sat there, Sean, and it did nothing.
It's controversial.
And the Middle East has been in turmoil since before I was born.
It's everything you need to kickstart your evening.
Everyone's had their Weetabix tonight. I love to see it.
That's Patrick Christie's Tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
no,
isn't it?
No,
because the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Dubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world, but look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m, only on GB News.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There, you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, you didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show Live starts tonight at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Right, Paul Coyte's here with the sport and a lot of football yesterday, and you know Arsenal, they'll be wiping their brows. Lucky to get that point yesterday, well into injury time.
Lucky Arsenal. Yeah. Oh, blimey. Anyway, 1-1.
Well,
so
this was my point, though, that I still think that you know Liverpool are scoring points when maybe they're not putting in great performances. Sometimes I still think they're the title winners.
You think Liverpool are?
Definitely, I said it right from the start.
I was thinking maybe Arsenal. But then I wonder, you know, they've lost a game, they drew a game, nearly lost two, and so early on the season, you know, it's all to play for. I hate to use any cliches like that, but sometimes one just has to use one. I'd be sick of Paris, quite frankly. I would be. So Arsenal 1, Man City 1, Sunderland and Aston Villa are having a terrible time. Yeah. They scored their first goal in the Premier League this season away at Sunderland. Sunderland down to 10 men, still could not win. And Bournemouth and Newcastle, the less said about that, the better, 0-0. Not very interesting.
We're going to talk about the flask of gold, which we now realise the Balon d'Or.
The Balon d'Or.
It could be a gold football, but also a ballon is also a balloon and a flask.
So maybe they should win all three.
Yeah.
It's at the Théâtre du Châtelet in Paris. There's 12 awards in all, but the main one everybody talks about is the Ballon d'Or, the best footballer of the year. There's loads of nominations, like Harry Kane is nominated, Scott McTominay, as we mentioned earlier. I think Ousmane Dembélé from Paris Saint-Germain will be the one that wins it. Lionel Messi's won it 8 times. Cristiano Ronaldo has won it 5 times. But there are 6 British winners of the Ballon d'Or. Mr. Holmes, Penny, I would love you to throw some names in as well.
It was Mr. Holmes who won.
Yes, he was the first winner back in 1956.
I do think there's a big Man United connection.
There is indeed. Yes, there is.
I would say Bobby Charlton.
Bobby Charlton is 1.
George Best.
Harry Kane, no.
He doesn't play for Man United. There's a Man United connection. Right, Georgie
Penny,
boy.
He should have won one.
Right, so we've got George, we've got Bobby.
Right, so Bobby Charlton, 66, George Best, 1968.
No, could I say... I mean, you said Ronaldo there, but not while he was at United.
No, British players, British-born players.
British players, even I know.
Honestly, Ronaldo, what are you talking about? He's British.
Dennis Law.
Dennis Law is correct.
Oh, yes,
Dennis Law in 1964.
Yes.
Although, was he playing in Italy at the time? I'm not sure.
Gordon Banks.
No, but good guess.
Thank you.
So we go, we're 3 short. 2001.
Okay, is that the United contingent?
No.
Is that the United contingent over?
No, there's still one more. But although better known for playing for someone else, he did play for Manchester United in 2001. Who could that possibly be?
Who could it? Just tell me.
Michael Owen.
Michael Owen.
Michael Owen is right.
Even I know him.
2001.
Liverpool.
Yes, 1956 we haven't got, and we haven't got the winner of 1978 and 1979.
1956, John Charles.
No, go again. Sir.
Dixie Dean. No. What's his name? The cup final.
Stanley Matthews.
Stanley Matthews.
Sir Stanley Matthews.
Well done, Sir Stanley.
And
brilliant.
One more.
And
fell off his bike in Superstars, played for Hamburg and Liverpool.
Kevin Keegan.
Great Kevin Keegan. 78.
We did all right there.
It was like pulling teeth, but we did get there. Yeah, I mean, that's
Kevin Keegan, famous for a curly perm.
Exactly. He won. Funny enough, he won the Balon perm the same year. What were the chances?
The flask of
absolutely in the hair. Anyway, it's tonight, and we will have all the winners
tomorrow.
Do it on the show tomorrow.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it. Thank you very much indeed.
It's good.
Now, question for you. Why are Generation Z ordering from children's menus, right? Not adult menus, children's menus. I would have thought price-wise, would you know?
Well, I don't know, because sometimes, actually, it's all you want, isn't it? It's
all you
nuggets
want.
and chips.
It's all you want.
And curry sauce.
Cheaper.
That and other stories, they're coming into the newsroom and being sorted through by Dawn Neeson and Mr. Chris Akabusi.
It's getting awfully...
Very good. They're to come after the weather update around Europe. Here we go.
Dinner under the stars tonight?
That reminds me of our travel insurance.
You mean all clear skies?
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations forecast. Hello. Well, it's a mixed picture out there across Europe. Rain and thunderstorms for some, but even still, we've got some warm sunshine out there. So showery outbreaks of rain affecting Madeira, but across much of Portugal and Spain, fine, dry and settled. But there is this area of low pressure, and that's going to bring showers, perhaps even thunderstorms, especially across the Alps. Best of the sunshine across Greece, feeling warm here. And that's a similar picture as we go through the week. Sunny spells and highs of up to 27 degrees. All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations forecast.
Westminster, the ultimate clique.
And you're fighting like rats in a sack.
But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask.
OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician.
Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
and
say,
now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Sir Jacob Rees-Mogg's State of the Nation, Monday to Thursday from 8 p.m.
I thought you'd set up a new version of Pimlico Plumbers in London.
Yeah, my family have set up a company called We Fix London, but we started planning that, 2 years before Labour got in. If we'd known Labour was getting in, we wouldn't have planned it. So obviously we've got to comply with the tax regulations, but anybody with any sense would agree with what I'm saying. The taxes are too high in the UK for wealthy people. Wealthy people can go and work anywhere in the world and be financially a lot better off.
And we had a non-dom regime that was basically stable for 200 years. It's only recently that it's been changed. And we're changing it and making it harder, just as other countries are making it easier. So you can go to Italy and you can negotiate an amount that you will pay. Portugal's been welcoming people. Malta's been welcoming people. All over the world, countries are saying, please come and bring your money. And the UK is saying, we're going to take all your money. We don't want you anymore.
That's right. Look, they're all encouraging sort of UK business people to come there, and it's working. If you become a tax exile in Italy, you pay 200 grand for the year. You don't have to pay no more. But the real problem is we're wasting their money, and they should be encouraging entrepreneurs to be staying. I think our biggest export at the moment is wealthy people.
So you're a businessman, you know how to do things and make a profit. If you're advising the Chancellor on how to get the money the country needs to pay for the public services, what would you be saying? Because at the moment, the tax revenues don't meet our expenditure. There is a gap. Something needs to give.
Resign.
All right, but that's not the answer.
GB News, the People's Channel.
In the GB newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
Chris and Dawn are with us to go through the newspapers, and here's a story, that goes on forever. It'll take forever to sort out, but it is so needed, I would have thought, and that's a second runway for Gatwick. It's amazing to think that Gatwick, Chris, only has one runway.
Yeah, that's right, and the government have got in, they're trying to really get through the red tape. Harding Alexander, Transport Secretary, approved the scheme with conditions about noise abatement. We've got this balance between the local employment and the national economy versus the environmental concerns, but it looks like this government wants space in the ground, avoiding that red tape or navigating the red tape, and let's get jiggy with it.
Well, they also, because they've already said about Heathrow as well, haven't they? So
yes.
They said about Heathrow now, and now it's Gatwick.
That's right. I think Heathrow is going to require some infrastructure costs to the M25, but here everything's ready to go. Just want to get on with it, and of course course, for Rachel Reeves, our embattled Chancellor, she'll be very happy if we get spades on the ground before 2029, which is the latest this government can hang on for their position.
Nothing happens very fast in this country. Has Ed Miliband had anything to say on this one? I mean, he normally has a bit of division when it comes to things like runways.
Can we talk there, Dawn, just moving on, because I noticed there's some rather nice stories that you found for us today, well, have been finding for us. Gen Z, eat like children.
Well, this is actually, it's actually quite a serious story, to be honest, with the cost of living crisis. I mean,
that's why, is it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're ordering from children's menus to basically save money, which is, it sounds funny on the surface, but everything is so expensive these days. Chris and I were having this conversation in the debate, but 58% of under 29 select cheaper kids' dishes when they're eating out, simply because they are cheaper.
Yeah.
And I think that's quite, and you were talking about your lad,
my lad's just come back from a weekend. He's on X yet. From his school, went to London, and for the first time, his own money had to spend it on his own drinks and his own food. He came in starving yesterday at my house, said, Papa, I barely eaten because everything's so expensive. How am I going to live here when I go to university? I said, son, you've got to go to work, mate. But so, you know, all of a sudden, the realisation that it costs, normally it's a bank, a mum and dad, tap, tap, tap. Now he realises how much it costs.
Yeah, and it really is expensive. I mean, just going out for a simple lunch now. I mean, not even a celebration or anything. If you have a bottle of wine, you're spending over £100.
It is. It's very difficult for restaurants as well, though, to make any money. I mean, that's the problem too.
Making money out of food. But I'll say, if you live in Burnley or you live in Plymouth and you compare London prices, just unbelievable, especially delivery orders, you know. It's
not just London, actually, it's other big cities like Manchester, Bristol, etc. What about this idea about, I don't know why we're talking about Gen Z all the time, poor Gen Z. 40%, mostly Gen Z, prefer to stand in a queue for a beer.
This is, I mean, we're all of that certain generation, but this is the old debate. I mean, certainly if you go to football, in the old days, you'd be a scrum at the bar, elbows, you know, just, over trying to attract attention of the person serving. Gen Z, or Gen Z, they actually stand in queues. I mean, come on, that's...
For a beer?
I saw it the other day.
What you do in a pub.
For the first time, I saw it in a pub. I just snuck in for a cheeky half, and everybody was queuing up, and I thought...
So who's the rest of the bar?
Nobody, they just queue up.
They just queue in a row, and it
because
was
they like it.
Weird.
They like it.
Yeah, but yeah, that's it, because that's what they think you do in pubs. I mean, who's bringing these kids up?
Where's the elbow room?
The funny thing is, though, Dawn, that I was looking at this, and then I thought, do you know what, actually?
It makes sense.
It makes sense to me, because the trouble is that, I mean, I'm a perfectly decent 5'6", but, you know, if you've got loads of people at the bar and you're trying to jump up and down like Zebedee and Magic Roundabout, trying to attract attention, it is annoying when you feel, you just think, oh, this is exhausting.
And you do feel you do get ignored at times. If someone's in the queue,
and certainly at football, that does cause the occasional punch-up, doesn't it? I was here first, mate. But this is a campaign now launched by pub landlord Al Murray, who's actually campaigning for that scrum at the bar at the pub. That's what we should do.
Yeah. So he's against the queue?
It'd be for the
old school pubs.
I mean, it does. I suppose the only problem with sort of like queuing one after another is that you've got, you know, if you've got 3 people serving, you're constantly having to come over and say, rather than if you're standing by.
What did you do, Penny, when you went in? There was a queue of youngsters. Did you?
No. I'd already got my half.
Oh, I was going to say.
No, I went in. There was nobody in there. I got my half. I went and sat down. Was reading my paper, and then I looked up and I just thought, oh, what's this? And you know how you sort of see something and you suddenly kind of go, what's going on? I looked up and I looked down and I thought, no, I am in a pub. OK, what is going on here? And that's the first time I've ever seen
They seem to think it's a post office or a bar or a bank.
But you hadn't pushed in. You hadn't casually walked to the bar and got yourself a...
I could absolutely easily have done that, because I'd have thought, oh, they're all together then.
But what stands out is good bar people at that stage. People who can actually operate and work behind a bar. And you notice there's so many idiots, you know, especially for football stadiums, match day, they bring in like 10,000 people who've never worked in a bar before.
Don't understand the orders or anything.
And it's the best job I've ever had.
Could agree with me? That's what I thought.
Exactly.
That's what I thought I was going to be.
I wouldn't have minded, to be honest. We can go and run a pub, Eamonn. Come on, it would be a cracker, wouldn't it?
Good selection of crisps.
Let's have a word about John Stapleton, and we speak personally about this because colleague for so many years for both of us, and a very good friend. Unexpectedly died over the weekend. Complications with his Parkinson's brought about by pneumonia. What would you like to say about him, Dawn?
I didn't know John as you two did. Obviously, I only met him as a journalist. I did an interview with his wife. Linford was about her cancer campaigning. That's how I met John. But I liked him on the spot because, unlike a lot of people in the broadcasting...
Sorry, can I just say something here? I'm looking at John and I'm looking at Penny, and the thing they have in common is neither of the two of them have changed an iota in all that time. That picture's what, 25 years old?
Quite a long time ago.
Yeah, it's a long time ago. But look, he always, the great blessing for a TV presenter is to keep your hair. You know, so he kept his hair, he kept his weight, he didn't put on weight. No. And Penny, you're the same. You've kept your hair and you've kept your weight.
Fall off. Never shrank in the wash. No.
Penny, you look amazing now. You look younger now. You do seriously look younger now.
Thanks. But who's that bloke on the right?
Oh God, whatever happened to him?
Gorgeous looking. But I really like the tribute the Sun have paid to John today, because they pulled out one of the quotes that I think a lot of people feel. And he said that, you know, he had a career in television for 45 years, but he went through that entire career thinking that one day they would find him out. One day someone would tap him on the shoulder.
But you know, that's why he always did his research. So I used to do these, my sister and I used to do these murder mystery things, and it was very funny. And of course there was wine consumed, yes there was. But do you know what? As that happened, John would always remember what he was supposed to say. And at one stage, always, there would be a comment from him saying, yes, I know what I'm saying, because unlike you lot, I've done my research. But he was obsessed with the research, and that was because he never went to university.
Because he was a working-class lad, he never went to university,
so
and was surrounded...
did the extra work.
Yeah, surrounded by so many people in the industry.
He had a love, an enthusiasm, an interest in what he did as well, Chris, you know, so he was able to talk about lots of different subjects because he had an opinion on things. It always amazes me when people only know one aspect of something. Will you try and vacuum up everything, all the knowledge?
Yeah, I seem to remember on some sort of consumer programme.
Yeah,
Watchdog.
Right, so that's my image of him, is, you know, being on there and investigating and fighting for the common person.
And also the time, the place. It was amazing, because he would just go to the right person with the right question at the right time.
Bouncing about that audience, those seats.
Oh, my goodness. And it's just so difficult.
Right, well, we've got to bounce to the break. Chris Sakabusi, thank you. Lovely, as always, having you. Dawn, thank you very much indeed. Appreciate it. We'll say goodbye to them, and we'll say hello to Catherine Chalk, because Catherine has got your weather update. Here we go. Good morning, Catherine.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning. Welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Well, it's a chilly start out there this morning, but plenty of sunny spells as high pressure becomes more dominant as we go through the week. So any mist and fog patches soon lifting and clearing. Otherwise, plenty of blue sky out there throughout much of Monday. Cloudier across parts of Scotland and holding on to some showers still across Orkney and Shetland with that brisk northwesterly wind. Some cloud generally filtering in across East Anglia, but otherwise in the sunshine, highs of up to 16 or 17 degrees. So feeling pleasant, but temperatures widely still a little bit below average for the time of year. So through Monday evening then, there's going to be variable amounts of cloud across Scotland. There may be some early evening sunny spells, but still holding on to some showery outbreaks across Orkney and Shetland. Similar picture across Northern Ireland, variable amounts of cloud here and across Northern England. Best of any early evening sunshine really confined to Wales and the southwest of England, with the far southeast perhaps seeing a shower or two, especially across parts of Kent. So as we go through Monday night then, a similar picture to previous nights with lengthy clear skies. There'll still be a few showers around across Orkney and Shetland and perhaps even across East Anglia, and more so a focus across the far southeast of England. Otherwise, it's still going to be a chilly night out there, perhaps across Scotland not as cold with just a subtle shift in the wind direction, but mist and fog patches to start Tuesday morning and perhaps with a rural grass frost. So as we go through Tuesday, well, many places seeing another fine day, plenty of blue sky around, a bit more cloud just filtering in through the afternoon, especially across East Anglia, where we may see even a few showers for the far southeast. Otherwise, sunny spells into the afternoon, drier across Orkney and Shetland. Bye-bye.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. Drivers on the M27 eastbound between junctions 8 and 9 may face delays due to a broken down vehicle and lane closure. The A40 eastbound in Gloucestershire is experiencing a 15-minute delay. Greater London's M4 eastbound between junction 3 and junction 2 is seeing congestion, causing a 10-minute delay. Stay patient as road crews work. And on the trains, passengers using the Elizabeth line between London Paddington and Heathrow Airport or Reading, and those on the Great Western Railway between Worcester, Shrub Hill, Oxford and Reading should expect delays. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
You could bank an incredible £30,000 in tax-free cash to spend however you like. And if that wasn't enough, you'll also get to drive away in this brand new motorhome. This brand new 2025 Benamar Primero could be yours. It comes with all the mod cons you'd expect from a vehicle worth over £74,000 and comfortably sleeps 4 people. This prize package is worth over £104,000. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
Miriam, you can't be serious. Scrapping the triple lock on state pensions? Madness.
Andrew, we just can't carry on pretending. The numbers just don't add up. We've got to be honest with people. We've got to face the facts. That's what people want.
Well, that's what you get on GB News and on Britain's Newsroom. Lively debates, lively conversation.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first, and we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
The People's Channel, Britain's News Channel.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's News Channel.
Good morning. Hamas declares victory after the government officially recognises the state of Palestine.
But the Prime Minister insists this is not a reward for terrorism.
Hamas is a brutal terror organisation. Our call for a genuine two-state solution is the exact opposite of their hateful vision.
This comes as Australia and Canada also recognise the state, and Keir Starmer claims the move is a result of Israel's failure to meet the key conditions of a ceasefire.
Israel has declared that British Jews will never forgive Labour for the decision to recognise Palestinian statehood, but could it bring peace to the Middle East? Your views welcome.
Nigel Farage of Reform will today pledge to expel hundreds of thousands of migrants in a mass deportation move, which he claims will save £234 billion.
And that young man, I forgive him.
A brave woman forgiving her husband's killer. Charlie Kirk's widow pays tribute to him as well, as President Trump describes him as an American hero.
And John Stapleton. We're remembering John Stapleton throughout the show. A friend, former colleague, legendary broadcaster, John Stapleton, who's died aged 79.
We've got a quieter week of weather ahead with higher pressure dominating, but some chilly nights on the cards. I'll have all the details coming up shortly.
It's a Monday morning, a very good morning. Wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening from, you're very welcome. I'm Eamonn Holmes.
I'm Penny Smith. This is GB News Breakfast.
So I've been with Penny all day today, and she's with you for the rest of the week. So
No, not for the rest of the week. Till Wednesday.
All right, okay.
Thanks for keeping in touch.
Good.
No, it's 3 days only.
Well, she will. 3 days. There
3
you go.
days.
That's how long you have her. You're spoilt.
Exactly. Now, just wanted to quickly do a bit more about John Stapleton, because we've been looking back at John Stapleton's life and memories of John, very good friend. And, I mean, you know, he always called me his screen wife, but we saw each other a lot outside of the studio as well. Lee has said, I've grown up with John Stapleton on TV. It sounds silly, but it's like part of your life has disappeared, that strong, commanding voice. God rest John. And I think the thing is, yes, he has been part of all of our lives. I first met... I think I first saw John... possibly on the time, the place. Would that make sense? Was that, or was it nationwide? I don't know. There was so many.
It could have been on Central Weekend in Birmingham.
Yeah.
Was going out in the Midlands. But I mean, the thing is, he worked for everybody. The thing about him, he was always in employment, and he was just useful to everybody and just very accessible.
He was. He was, and he brought such humanity to things. Every time he went out and reported on anything, he would always bring it back to the human side of things.
Yes.
You know, he would go out. I remember when he was working on the Bosnian War, and he went out and he. At that point, I think we were talking about figures again, as we so often do when these war situations arrive, you know, 1,000, there's da-da-da. And he brought it back to one family who he followed for a short while, and I just remember... And he would always bring it to that, because it was always about how does this affect people like us?
Yes, yes.
Not the people in charge, not the people in... anything that was actually, you know, the people who were actually doing, but the people who had to actually suffer whatever it was that was happening to them. Yeah. And that was his incredible gift, was that he was a gifted communicator.
And he worked on his brilliant shows. I mean, you were mentioning the time, the place there, Central Weekend, nationwide. You know, I always remember as a viewer watching him, and all those people that were around him, like Bob Wellings and whatever. He just knew all the people. Nationwide had such a stable of fantastic presenters.
Really good reporters.
At a time when TV was TV, you know, when it was really doing things out and about around the whole country.
And when we all watched. And we all watched the same television channels, because there were only a few of them.
Well, thank God they don't anymore. Thank God they watch us, which is good.
There is that.
And thank you for that, for watching and for listening. It's very much appreciated. Top story this morning, Keir Starmer has faced a backlash after formally recognising Palestine as an independent state.
In the face of the growing horror in the Middle East, we are acting to keep alive the possibility of peace and a two-state solution. That means a safe and secure Israel alongside a viable Palestinian state.
Well, families of Israeli hostages have said this is handing Hamas its greatest prize, while the Prime Minister said this move does not reward the terrorist organisation. And now joined by GB News political correspondent Olivia Utley. Most of the papers today actually reporting on this. Daily Mail saying Hamas claims victory after Starmer hands out a prize for terrorism. The Eye, Israel lashes out at UK for recognising Palestine state. The thing is that this isn't just the UK, is it? There are other countries either doing this already or about to.
No, exactly. France and Belgium have already recognised Palestine as a state. Canada and Australia in the last few days have said that they too will recognise Palestine as a state. That said, there are countries who are really holding out against it, among them Germany, Italy and, very importantly, as far as the UK is concerned, the USA. Trump is adamantly against recognising Palestinian statehood. It'll be very interesting to see what, if anything, this does to the relationship between Donald Trump and Keir Starmer. Obviously, last week we saw the pair of them cozying up together at that press conference. We even saw Keir Starmer affectionately sort of patting Donald Trump on the shoulder. But this is an issue which really, really divides them. And of course, it's a very, very important issue, not because there is anything particularly important exactly about the UK officially recognising Palestine as a nation state, in that it is mainly just a symbolic move. But if the two countries are diverging on their foreign policy on the region, that could be potentially damaging to the UK. We know that Trump can retaliate by, for example, imposing tariffs, and that's something which the UK really does not want to see. Unsurprisingly, perhaps, Kemi Badenoch, the leader of the opposition, has roundly condemned Keir Starmer for doing this. And earlier on GB News, Matt Vickers, the deputy chairman of the Conservative Party, said that the only reason that Keir Starmer is doing this is because he knows that he's losing ground within his own party, and it's a way to kind of throw a bone to the left of the party, those people who are sympathetic to the kind of Jeremy Corbyn viewpoint, who think that Gaza is a really, really important issue for the Labour Party. So there could be a bit of a political element domestic political element, as to why Keir Starmer has chosen to do this at this particular moment.
Yeah, we've had comments, Olivia, for example, Jay getting in touch saying, I'm sick of politicians worrying about other countries when their focus should be here at home. Well, that's what Nigel Farage is doing. He's on the front page of most of the papers today, talking about kicking out hundreds of thousands of those with indefinite leave to remain in the UK, which is a stage further than anybody else has gone.
It is. So Nigel Farage has already talked about what he'd do to tackle the problem of illegal migration, so small boat migrants coming over to the UK. Today he's going to be talking about what he plans to do about legal migration. And the first thing on his agenda is to cancel altogether that indefinite leave to remain. So migrants who have come here legally, lots of them after Brexit in sort of early 2021, under Boris Johnson's policy, which allowed migrants from all over the world to come here as long as they met a certain salary threshold. Nigel Farage would cancel that altogether, a really controversial move which might pit reform against each other, because there are plenty of supporters of reform who used to be in Boris Johnson's government.
Olivia, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much indeed. We'll hit the break. The latest series of Traitors is on the horizon, but how do you spot the signs of people who fib quite a lot? And we're going to be joined by Traitors Season 3 star Charlotte Berman next.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it? Because the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes and Kerr weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact is Trump made a good start. No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Britain was once the envy of the world, but look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m, only on GB News.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There, you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Actually, we're delighted to welcome the Foreign Office Minister, Hamish Falconer. 12 minutes past 9 is the time. Hamish, good morning to you. Good to talk to you. Big news day, of course, from your point of view. Hamish, what difference is it going to make to our lives, day-to-day life for everybody, in terms of this recognition of Palestine?
Thanks and good morning. This is a decision we've taken because we need to hold open the hope of two states living side by side, two communities living side by side in the Middle East. I'm the MP for Lincoln, and I know that people right across Lincoln and the country are concerned by the violence in Gaza. They are concerned by the fact that hostages still haven't been released, and they're concerned by the escalation of violence, and the Bush government is taking action to try and chart an alternative path towards peace for two people.
So actually what it means is that there will be full diplomatic relations, is that right? So there will be a Palestinian ambassador in London and there will be a British counterpart in Palestine?
So we're recognising the state of Palestine, and the Foreign Secretary will be writing to her Palestinian counterpart to set out a way ahead on how we would establish full relations.
But who are the counterparts? I mean, I'm sure that when you talk about the Palestine, obviously the Gaza is run by Hamas. Hamas is still in power. So who are these people who are being talked to?
So the Palestinian Authority is recognised by most of the world as the legitimate Palestinian Authority. So they have a foreign minister, they have a prime minister, Mustafa, who I've spoken to recently. They have a president, President Abbas, who's made a very important commitment, which is that any future Palestinian state would be demilitarized. It would have no army, no air force. It would pose no threat to Israel.
Although, of course, it could always change its name, no longer be Hamas, so that you're not dealing with Hamas. But at some stage, there will be people from Hamas who are being dealt with, aren't there?
Absolutely not. I know exactly what Hamas are. They are a violent terrorist organisation. They do not believe in two states. They don't believe in people living side by side. They want one violent anti-Semitic state between the river and the sea. That's what they always say. And this decision that we took yesterday is about two states. It's about adding the recognition of a Palestinian state to the state of Israel. We support no role for Hamas. We secured an important commitment in July with all 22 Arab nations who are part of the Arab League that there can be no role for Hamas in Gaza in the future. They must be demilitarized, they must be disarmed, and that is what we support.
Hamish, what about a role for Morgan McSweeney? We've had the Conservatives on our show this morning, and they're getting very hot under the collar that McSweeney hid 700,000 plus pounds worth of donations to boost Keir Starmer's political career, to have him made leader of the Labour Party, to have him elected as Prime Minister. Does this send out a concern to you?
So as I understand it, these are allegations from, I think, 2018, long before Morgan McSweeney had anything to do with the government. I understand it's an issue with the Electoral Commission. I'm sure they'll be following their proper process. I don't think it's a question for a government minister.
OK, Hamish, we've got to leave it there. Thank you. Hamish Falconer is Foreign Office Minister. We appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.
The time is, actually, what time does that say? 16 minutes past 9. It's time for the Great British Giveaway now. Here are all the details.
You're not going to want to miss our greatest Great British giveaway so far. You could bank an incredible £30,000 in tax-free cash to spend however you like. And if that wasn't enough, you'll also get to drive away in this brand new motorhome. With thanks to Marquis Leisure, this brand new 2025 Benimar Primero could be yours. It comes with all the mod cons you'd expect from a vehicle worth over £74,000 and comfortably sleeps 4 people. This prize package is worth over £104,000. And remember, if you can dream it, you can drive it away. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrants must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. The winner will be contacted live on GB News, week commencing 10th of November. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Winkleman has opened up the castle doors to an all-star cast who are ready to play the ultimate game of deceit and betrayal. Celebrity Traitors is almost here.
Yeah, you've got Stephen Fry, you've got Celia Imrie, Alan Carr, some of the famous faces who are going to be either traitors or faithfuls.
So the question is this morning, what tips and tricks can they use to catch a liar? We'll be talking to a liar, former Traitor star Charlotte Berman, right after this.
Oh, no, she's there. Right, OK.
Oh,
yeah, how can you tell? Go on, then. How can you tell that they're lying? Charlotte, hello, good morning.
Right. Hi, good morning. Well, I mean, there's so many different tells, aren't they? But so Lottoland.co.uk's casino recently did some research on catching a liar, and they reckon that 34% of us Brits reckon we have an ace poker face and hide our true feelings sort of 3 times a week. So clearly we're all perfectly ready to play the traitors. But it's all about different tells, different movements, things like crossing your arms or avoiding eye contact, and, you know, all of those different tells that I think we're vaguely aware of. But when you're in that sort of castle scenario, you need to be really on top of. And it'll be so interesting with the celebrity traitors because obviously they kind of already know each other. So it'll be looking
double bluff.
Yeah,
Yes, and smiling's one of the things you've got to look out for. Look at her. Look at that. Did you ever see a smile like that? So beautiful, so big.
It's true, actually. People did say to me in the castle that I'm quite a smiley person. But I think because no one knew me coming in, and that is sort of my normal state, I just had to make sure that I was always smiling. So when I went from faithful to traitor, I was the same person. So there wasn't any sort of new tells. At this time, I was guilty and, you know, maybe vulnerable to being, banned.
What about being the same person in real life? I mean, there you are, you're leading your life, you appear on the show, and then people have another opinion of you. Has that stuck with you, or has it changed the way people perceive you, the way they look at you?
No, I think everyone has really enjoyed, I think, watching the series that I was on, and enjoyed sort of my game, and enjoyed / was baffled by my Welsh accent choice. That's another thing for spotting a liar. Clearly, don't take everyone's accent at first glance. But no, I think everyone's just really enjoyed it. Everyone likes to joke, obviously, that they can't ask me anymore. Yeah. But you know, they love it, I think.
Thank you so much, Charlotte Berman.
Charlotte, sorry we're so short of time, but we appreciate. We've no idea if you were telling us the truth about anything or not. But thank you, thank you very much indeed.
Kate Garraway's one of them. Just should say, talking about colleagues. Right, OK. Next show's along in a short while. What have you got for us?
Good morning.
Morning.
Well, we've got a cracking show for a Monday morning, starting with this amazing decision by the Prime Minister to recognise Palestinian statehood. And we've just had a tweet from the Home Office, from Yvette Cooper, asking Israel not to... Oh, sorry. I'm behind the times. Asking Israel not to respond, which seems slightly extraordinary.
And, of course, we've got Nigel Farage's press conference, massively ramping up the talk and the rhetoric on visas and immigration, which will be a big, big story, actually.
So they're saying they're going to scrap indefinite leave to remain, so people who come over here for whatever reason will not automatically qualify for that.
Legally.
They can apply for a 5-year visa instead. And it's to try and weed out the people who come in to do cheap, unskilled labour.
Yes, on the so-called Boris wave.
Yeah, it would be popular.
Yeah. There's lots of stories about that. I mean, lots of stories, lots of different things in that.
Well, listen,
about what they do.
Thank you very much indeed for watching us this morning. We're going to be back tomorrow to do it all again.
And how lovely for you to be with Penny Smith.
Yeah, with Penny Smith. Me and Penny again tomorrow. Hope we can have your company as well. But first of all, guys,
we're going to get some weather.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good morning. Welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Well, it's a chilly start out there this morning, but plenty of sunny spells as high pressure becomes more dominant as we go through the week. So any mist and fog patches soon lifting and clearing. Otherwise, plenty of blue sky out there throughout much of Monday. Cloudier across parts of Scotland and holding on to some showers still across Orkney and Shetland with that brisk northwesterly wind. Some cloud generally filtering in across East Anglia, but otherwise in the sunshine, highs of up to 16 or 17 degrees. So feeling pleasant, but temperatures widely still a little bit below average for the time of year. So through Monday evening then, there's going to be variable amounts of cloud across Scotland. There may be some early evening sunny spells, but still holding on to some showery outbreaks across Orkney and Shetland. Similar picture across Northern Ireland, variable amounts of cloud here and across Northern England. Best of any early evening sunshine really confined to Wales and the southwest of England, with the far southeast perhaps seeing a shower or two, especially across parts of Kent. So as we go through Monday night then, a similar picture to previous nights with lengthy clear skies. There'll still be a few showers around across Orkney and Shetland and perhaps even across East Anglia, and more so a focus across the far southeast of England. Otherwise, it's still going to be a chilly night out there, perhaps across Scotland not as cold with just a subtle shift in the wind direction, but mist and fog patches to start Tuesday morning and perhaps with a rural grass frost. So as we go through Tuesday, well, many places seeing another fine day, plenty of blue sky around, a bit more cloud just filtering in through the afternoon, especially across East Anglia, where we may see even a few showers for the far southeast. Otherwise, sunny spells into the afternoon, drier across Orkney and Shetland. Bye-bye.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The A92 northbound between Cowdenbeath and Lochgelly is disrupted due to a collision. 2 lanes are closed on the M25 anti-clockwise between junctions 29 and 28. The M25 clockwise at junction 11 in Surrey is affected by a crash, closing 1 lane. There's congestion on the A38 southbound in Derby between the A6 and the A52. Expect delays on the A49 southbound in Herefordshire between the A438 and A466. And on the trains, there is disruption on the Elizabeth line between London Paddington and Heathrow Airport, and on Great Western Railway's various routes. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
GB News Breakfast, every day from 6 a.m.
The cost of parking, it's increased by, wait for it, 500%.
And they've done that overnight without consultation, right?
Yeah.
So it now costs £4.85 an hour, right? And what's that going to do? It's going to stop people visiting. And it's not easy to get around York, I have to say. One road in, one road out type thing, congestion around the place. Yes, there's car parking spaces, but goodness me, I mean, this is obviously very, very controversial, and these are the sort of taxes, indirect taxes, that come on all of us. It's now going to cost us so much money just to get there, just to see there. Tell us more.
That's right, Eamonn, and the City of York Council have introduced this to try and reduce congestion, to try and get more people on buses, more people cycling to go shopping. But of course, that infrastructure hasn't been put in place. There's not been extra buses put on. There's not been extra bike racks for people to park. And certainly when you're doing a shop, a lot of the shops here are greengrocers, butchers. How are you going to carry all that on a bike? I'd like to introduce you to Karen now. She's just come to pay for parking, expecting that it was going to be 80p. How do you feel when you've just seen this price rise today?
I am really annoyed. I've come out with enough money to pay basically for 2 hours. I'm having my hair done, which then, knowing now that this is, say, triple what it would have been, then my online payment isn't working. So I'm effectively not able to pay, which is really, really, really annoying.
GB News, the People's Channel.
I think for far too long in this country, millions of people felt as though they weren't represented at all by the establishment media.
GB News was needed because there literally was no other voice. Everyone was saying the same thing.
GB News exists because there is a desperate need for fearless journalism that puts the people first. GB News came on the scene as a disruptor, and it has always been a disruptor ever since.
The mainstream is all about keeping the status quo as it is, ticking along quite nicely. They don't want to ask difficult questions.
But journalism is journalism at the end of the day, and we're not here to serve any masters. Our masters are our audience.
Charlie Peters, he gave a voice to the victims of grooming gangs, and now, of course, it's led to a national inquiry.
GB News exists to make sure those concerns are put forward and people feel as though what they want to ask is put to those in power.
We don't take orders from anyone. We ask the questions our viewers and listeners want answering.
I know what's actually being discussed by my family and my friends. Us ordinary, hard-working British people have had enough. We've had enough.
They're fed up with the same old establishment nonsense. Everything that we do is opening up conversations that others are afraid to go at. Why are you illegally bringing people into Britain?
That is our job. Our job is to get to the truth.
If it's important to you watching or listening at home, then it's important to us as well.
That's what makes us the fearless champion of Britain.
Good morning to you. It's 9:30 on Monday, the 22nd of September, live across the UK, Britain's newsroom with Andrew Pearce and Miriam Cates.
Well, the Reform UK leader Nigel Farage will set out his plan to scrap the right to permanent residency for migrants and to stop them from accessing any benefits at all. We'll be covering that live. Don't miss it.
As Prime Minister of this great country, that the United Kingdom formally recognises the State of Palestine.
We're calling it the Prime Minister's Gaza gamble. Hamas, the terrorist organisation, has declared victory after the government's recognition of Palestine, as the government warns Israel not to retaliate.
That man, that young man, I forgive him.
Charlie Kirk's widow, Erika Kirk, pays tribute to the political activist in front of tens of thousands of mourners in the USA, as President Trump declares him an all-American hero.
Charles James Kirk was heinously murdered by a radicalized, cold-blooded monster for speaking the truth that was in his heart.
Leaked messages show Sarah Ferguson secretly apologised to the convicted paedophile Jeffrey Epstein after first disowning him in public. We're wondering now, is that the end for her with Christmas with the Royals at Sandringham?
It makes you feel part of a big family group. You're always made to feel welcome. Now there's only 2,500 of us left.
And last year, your generosity meant that nuclear test veterans smashed their £25,000 fundraising target, raising over £50,000 to ensure that their Pontins reunion went ahead in style. And our reporter was there.
Well, that was a very moving moment, because actually those veterans talking about the nuclear test came onto our programme and told us how there was no money for the Christmas reunion at Pontins, and they wanted 25,000. On Britain's newsroom, I think we got to 50,000.
Gosh, that's so
in
amazing.
2.5 hours.
Wow,
and they
incredible.
were incredibly moved and very generous. So
it's an incredible story.